flash your condoms, and then you open the box, and it's just empty. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome to the Raw Room.
85 South Show?
What's an 85 South show?
Hold on. The fuck this nigga just say?
For real. I said the A thing.
But no, the A was the You see the bullshit we on. Welcome back to the motherfucking Raw Room. This nigga Will is tripping. This nigga tripping. He said, what is the 85 South Show?
Hell yeah, I'm tripping.
Hey, 85 South Show, bro. That's DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, and Chico Bean, bro.
No bullshit. Probably.
You know who DC Young Fly is, right?
I've heard of the name.
Carlos Miller, you've heard of it?
He never heard of Carlos Miller.
I mean, we're talking, bro, no bullshit. Probably number 3, top 5 podcasts out right now.
And like that, and like
in numbers,
statistically, like they numbers.
Where are you getting your data from?
They get like a million an episode on YouTube.
They get 1 million an episode.
Like a million plus
every
views
Friday.
On YouTube,
they
dude.
drop one every Friday.
So if you're getting that on YouTube, I can't imagine what you're
they
pulling in down.
No question. Well, so video is starting to surpass the audio stuff.
Really?
Yes, because YouTube, they're saying digital content is basically like the future of everything. That's why it's important that you have this stuff videoed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what we bring.
But people like watching like the reactions and seeing the actual conversations, then sitting and listening to it. Like people still do that, obviously.
Yeah.
But even with us, we're starting to surpass our audio more so on YouTube.
Yeah,
which is wild.
I feel like that's what we got, Faye. I think our YouTube is bigger than like Apple and all the other shit. Like everybody just the comments, all the shit is just YouTube.
Like YouTube can be more volatile, like with ups and downs and stuff like that. Like audio's a little more steady. Like you kind of know your base more. Yeah. But I mean,
yeah, that is true because with the views on YouTube, it definitely is a little guess who your guest is and things like that. Where
they want to see it more though.
Yeah,
when they know that you got that guest or that person, they want to see it. Like our Grove hero, when we got Grove on, everybody in Memphis on that hoe. Like, we got all the views on that bitch.
He's like a guy. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's just two Memphis niggas talking, but then like I don't know, Benny's, even though it's Nashville, it ain't as high because I don't know, maybe it's just Grove is. It's crazy, but the audio, his audio is way more. Benny's audio, I feel like, is way more than Grove's audio, but the YouTube is dumb.
Yeah,
that was just.
I feel like your audio downloads is the bread and butter, man. That's what I think.
Well, audio always got to be
now
clear.
audio's where there's more of like the market for like advertising and sales and stuff like that because YouTube and stuff's a little more like the Wild Wild West. Like you kind of no one really understands it all yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, audio's where the majority of people kind of still make their money on it. But yeah, bro, I think YouTube's going to be it. I think the YouTube channel's crucial.
I think it's crucial. Yeah.
YouTube
that's why we put into it. You like on ours, like you watch, because you mess with Bloss. You guys all know Bloss. Like Bloss pours into our YouTube channel to where you can sit and whatever we're saying and talking about, he references it as we're talking about. So you don't have to grab your phone and look at stuff. You don't have to do none of that stuff. You can sit there and just watch it like it's like you're experiencing it.
Yeah. Like it's a TV show almost.
Yeah.
Like it's a TV. You don't have to be like, oh, what are they talking about? And Google it. It's boom. They blast it for you right there. That's what we pay Faye for, goddamn it. That's a fake code. Hey, but while we on the podcast game, man, who been your favorite guest on the bus? Like you just like, oh, this was a banger. Not even it didn't even have to be a banger. It was like the vibe was right, bro. Everything was good.
I feel like
the after show was good.
I feel like it all depends on like what vibe you're wanting. Like for me, my favorite sit down was probably Darren Waller. Because he talked about, we could have talked for hours. Like we could have done, at the end, I was like, bro, you need to go on Rogan. Like this story, like what you're saying here, how open you are about it, like you need to be on a platform bigger than this. And we could have talked for hours, but him talking about like his drug addiction, being ODing in a parking lot, getting suspended for a full year in the NFL. He OD'd in a parking lot. It was a Sprouts parking lot. And then he basically worked at Sprouts for $11.50 an hour while he was doing rehab and basically to make his way back into the NFL, got on the Ravens. He was on their practice squad. And then the Raiders saw him practicing before a game out on the field pregame. They were like, who is that?
Damn.
And then the next week, Gruden and them and Mayock and them claimed him off waivers. He was a Raider, finished out strong in the season. Then he earned himself that contract the next year. Because Madden was asking him, they're like, don't you think you should be out? Because he was like a 69. So he's like, I haven't really gotten to showcase my ability a whole lot. And then he went off like last year. or 2 years ago now. But then he earned himself a big deal. But sitting down with him and hearing him talk so openly about everything and talk about why and getting to the root of everything, like dating all the way back to like middle school to where how he felt around his friends or playing sports outside, but then also being good in the classroom, and then how he'd get made fun of from both different groups. Like, you know, his boys that he played sports with would make fun of him for academics. Dudes on academics would wonder why he's outside playing like sports and stuff. So he always dealt with like just issues as a young kid. Both parents married and everything, don't know how he fell off into the addiction world, but he started taking pills in college, and he'd be at Georgia Tech, and he's like, because he didn't really want to play ball, and he started taking pills and stuff, and when he'd be injured, he'd be on the sideline with a Gatorade bottle full of vodka and be telling teammates to smell it. He's talking about all this stuff on the pod, like, you know, how he, would try to finesse, how he tried to finesse piss tests, like drug tests and stuff.
Damn.
Like, so sitting down with him,
you know, motherfuckers done did it.
Yeah,
I know those same stories.
Yeah,
Oh, finessing
I
the test?
could tell you. I mean, I could, but I would never say these niggas' names. But I'm saying it's like niggas really be out here finessing them hoes.
trying to do the most to get out of it.
Instead of
I would
just
ask like,
not
hey, Comp, can you
doing
pee
it.
in my cup?
Yeah.
So I can go, this is back when I was in Nebraska, and you know, I was like, hey, no, man. Like, we happen to get caught, like, I am not responsible for this. But he was probably my favorite. And because I met him, I didn't know he had all this story, right? Because I went to Oakland, and we were both living in the extended stay that was right next to the facility.
Yeah, I was like,
Trash.
he was still in the extended.
He was
stay.
still in the extended stay.
And I know what.
And I never.
I've been in that extended stay.
Yeah. So you know it in Alameda. Shout out Alameda.
Shout out Alameda.
And I would see him, and I'm like, he was just a dude catching touchdown passes. Like, I didn't know who he was. I was just like, man, why is he still in the extended stay? And we was at a Thanksgiving over at Deric Cars, and we started talking. I was like, yeah, I'll have a drink.
Shout out DC.
Yeah, shout out DC. I was like, yeah, I'll have a drink. And I was like, Daren, you want a glass of whiskey or something? He said, oh, no, I'm good. And I remember like saying something like, you know, not like making fun, but poking at him, like, bro, have a glass of whiskey. Like, who cares?
yeah,
Who cares?
yeah.
We got a game, like, you know, relax. Ball.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, I'm good. You know, I had an addiction. I was like, oh, my bad, man. I had no. He's like, oh, Comp, you're good, bro. He's like,
Hey, that
I'm
showed that
comfortable
he
talking about it. I like,
exactly.
you know, I was this and that.
Exactly.
He's like, but I try not to do that. Blah blah blah. Because when we get back on away games, we go into the tubs to just recover and stuff after the game, because we was, you know, it's literally walking distance. Like, I got nothing else to do. We just be sitting in there getting to know each other, and I would be asking him why he's staying in the extended stay. He was basically like saying like, so he didn't have any opportunities or thoughts to want to go out and get out or be in a nightlife or nothing. He wanted to kind of close himself off from that as he was continuing to rehab and rehabilitate and stay away from all that stuff. So,
Yo,
that's live.
and him talking on the pod about it, that was probably my favorite.
yeah.
For
Darren
sure.
Waller, anytime you want to come to the room, bro, come fuck with us.
Yeah.
That's it.
He would too. That's how good of a dude he is. When he came, he drove from Atlanta. He's like, oh, I'll come this day. And he stayed at the house. Like, he didn't care. Like, just the most humble, genuine style dude around me that like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Going out to eat with Charo and her family. Her family's in town. We all went out to eat, and he's going with us, like, carrying any kind of conversation, you know what I mean? Because he's a stud tight end.
Yeah.
Charo's parents are sitting there asking him questions. You're kind of like, oh, you know, you don't want him to be bothered. And he's just, whatever. He was just an open book, man. Just a nice ass dude.
That's cool. That's fire as hell, though. I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought that. I would have thought it would have been like.
I would have thought you'd say one of the more silly goose, because when usually what I like about your pod is when you guys are having that silly goose time.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Silly goose
That's
time.
silly goose time.
Speaking of silly goose time, silly
He's
goose seems to
back,
be
bro.
coming back.
He's back. I saw the video today.
I watched it last night too.
I got excited for my boy. That's my boy, bro. So
I sent it to Taylor. I was like, hey,
he's coming back, bro. Chris, he was a real heartfelt apology. I hope my boy comes back strong. But I on your pod, I like watching y'all. It's funny that you said it serious, man, because I like it when they're having a silly goose time.
I like,
because that's what you guys usually are doing.
I do love that. Like, you know how we are in the locker room. Like,
see, that's
we
what
all
I'm
love a
saying,
silly goose time. Like, we go out, we vibe off each other well. Taylor and I, we got our unique friendship. And if somebody's comfortable on the pod, it's just a good flowing pod. You're having fun. But like me getting into the podcast world, like inspired by like Joe, Fighter and the Kid, all these different pods, right? Where I was writing everything down how I wanted it. I've just always been like, it's just always scratch an itch to get that like insightful, inspirational style, like stories, background, like understanding why people are moving the way they move, and like just learning about that stuff. So that's why I choose Daren. But I do love having a great time. I do love fucking around.
I can understand that it's just one of them, like that's how it was with Grove. This man telling us stories about the young dolphin and CMG shit. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I know that's foreign language to you, Will. But yeah.
But nothing, because
That's
but
real
I've heard
Memphis
of
shit.
Mr. Dolph. Respect.
water on water on water. Yeah, I know. I got it.
Paddock on paddock on paddock.
Yeah.
Good old shit.
Yeah.
Hey, but with the, you know what I'm saying, your pod big as hell, that bitch seemed like it did steroids overnight, bruh. How the fuck do you deal with the annoying ass people?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the cool people that has cool shit to say or
You talking about like the people who are like, hey, stop podcasting, play football.
play
or
football.
like-
Hey, we don't give a fuck about what you, yeah, them motherfuckers.
At this point, it's just like, you just kind of get numb to it. Like, you start to understand that this is just how like the world is. Like, you're just gonna have people that are gonna shit on stuff you're trying to do no matter what. And I don't know, man. That first year was tough. When I wasn't on a team yet,
Yeah.
and y'all were losing out of the gate.
Shit,
Y'all
bro.
started off what? Like
I don't know.
1 and
we just 2 and 5.
2 and 5 something.
2 and 4. No,
That
we
was-
was 2 and 4, and then we played Kansas City. And if we would have lost,
Yeah.
that would have made
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
We would have been done.
So before I went to Oakland, like, I mean, it was stressful probably every week watching y'all lose. Cause I'm thinking, and Taylor, he had his PED thing. So he was
Yeah, I
suspended for
seen
the
he
first
played
4
for it,
weeks,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
That's when y'all came on when he was at training camp.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And Schaub's like, hey, you guys know I heard about the PEDs in LA. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, there's different perspectives you kind of hear that you're just like, yeah, shit really isn't that serious.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And it's just stuff that kind of stacks like that. But that first year when the PED thing, then Taylor came back, he had some holding penalties.
Oh, yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, it was just volatile. It's like you're sitting there watching when y'all lost. It's like, fuck, I really don't want to have to drop this episode. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
people are just sitting there saying, hey, you know, the whole stick to football,
to
stick to
Yeah.
sports, blah, blah, blah. And since we're it's kind of like a new thing, guys stepping out and doing like, whether it's music, artist stuff, podcasting, whatever the case may be, you're just so vulnerable of like putting yourself out there, like doing something different that like a team can be like, you know, why are you
Right.
focusing on this? Or,
Yeah.
you know,
So
why aren't you
isn't that-
focusing on the team?
Okay,
Why aren't
now
you
you
doing
done,
this and that?
you done
So
brought this up.
you
Hold
have
on.
a lot of subconscious shit in your mind that you're really worried about. But I don't know. I guess I just kind of like pressed through it. Like, it's really not
It's-
that serious.
It's never that serious.
It's never that serious.
Ever.
Like,
Do you clap back?
sometimes.
Yes, he
I
does.
don't. I
He
don't
has the-
as much.
You have the y'all. That's what I'm saying. I take both of y'all. I learned from you a lot more because you just don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm clapping.
Yeah, you
Like,
clap.
I'm
He
yeah.
clapping
claps
cheeks.
so
I'm going,
hard.
I'm going
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your cheeks,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm trying to.
you-
Yeah,
give me the
trying
cheeks.
to.
Yeah,
do-
yeah.
Because
I
I'm
own
clapping
you. I
you.
own you.
I own your body,
That-
dog.
yeah.
I own your body. I own you, your soul, and your
Yeah.
mind. You know what I'm saying, bro?
See, I
can
try
turn
to
into
spice
you
in
on some
between
Mortal
both of
Kombat
y'all,
shit.
bro. You know what I'm saying? I try to dabble in the go hard as fuck, and then you with the more, you know what I'm saying, more smart comebacks.
Like
you know,
a witty comeback.
witty.
Is that what you do?
But you kind of weave through it without
Yeah.
getting crazy or make it seem like you upset or you
Yeah,
mad
I'll
or
try
some
to
shit.
position it in a way to where I have like a witty little comeback and then allow other people to like fight the battle for
Pile
you.
in. Yeah.
Because I know we have those fans. Like I know we have those people,
You
the
did-
wolves, whatever we want to,
Yeah.
tier ones, whatever we want to call them, right? Like you just know you have those people that just like root for you and understand like what you've been doing because they've been
They want to
following
see
you
you
since the
win.
beginning.
They
Yeah.
want to see you
Like
win.
new people, like it's just understanding that new people that are coming on, they don't know your entire backstory or they don't know everything about
Mm-hmm.
you or your journey. So it's easy to put yourself out there, right? Like when we're having fun with the Ravens fan base and people just not knowing who you are and then them trying to take those, they're thinking they're taking these certain shots that just don't like,
Yeah.
I'm already past that type of thing. Like
Yeah.
how many tackles you have, blah, 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 this and that. And it's
I've
just like,
been
listen,
over
like,
there, baby. This is 8 years in
yeah,
the
I
game.
played it. Listen,
Come
it's
on, bro.
yeah, I've played 8 years. It's
Like,
over. Like we've already crossed these paths.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah,
I
I've
was
done this
younger
many
in my
times.
career, it bothers you a little more because
Yeah,
you're like, all right,
yeah.
maybe I do need to tighten up
Yeah,
and focus on this and
yeah.
that. And it's not like you're taking focus away from ball. You're just like, you're just seeing just the bigger picture
Mhm.
and shit just kind of like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
And you're just in this fishbowl. Because when I went to Oakland, we were winning out of the gate. Like we got up before we started losing the back half of the year. And it's just like, you see what was going on in Nashville, how y'all were but I was so removed from it that you realize, oh, this shit isn't that.
It ain't
Like you're
that
just kind of
big.
in the fishbowl.
Yeah.
You can't read the directions when you're inside the box, that whole
Yeah.
analogy. And when you get out of it and you can kind of just see it for what it is, you're like, this is just fucking part of it. Like,
It's
who cares?
Yeah.
like tweets and posts and everything is as fleeting as song lyrics. Like we're not talking about the same song a few years ago or even last year.
Not
You know what I
last
mean? Not even
That
last
shit
week.
fucking
Yeah.
goes fast.
You live in a
It's
moment
yeah.
quickly, but then it's like, you might sit there and get stuck on a tweet that you might have said or something that you might have been trying to find the line. And you're like, all right, let's see how this ages. And now I just find myself like, you know, if I feel like it wasn't the right kind of move, I'll just post something again here in a little bit. And then then from there, it's another new beginning. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like you got more people that be trying to attack you. Like, they just want to be like, I just want to fucking get on Will's head. I don't know, maybe it's the haircut. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I don't know. It could, you know, it could be like, as much as we have fun, like it could come off somebody who's new, could see it as like, he's got this arrogance about him, but it's like, what has he done?
Like, yeah. But I mean, I hate that when be like, I've been in the league 8 years. Do you understand that?
Right. But even
I don't think you understand, like, because you went through my Google to figure out that I've been, you said I sat on the bench for 8 years. How do you, so you had to go look that up.
Yeah.
To tell me that last week I only had 2 tackles on space. Like, so you knew, and you wanted to go look this up. So it's like, that don't get me mad, because it's like, all right, well, just follow the raw room now. Like, you gonna do all this.
You're already here.
You already here, bro. So that's why
subscribe.
I don't, come on, like it. Share it. Tell a friend.
Tell your boy.
You feel me?
People say the tackles thing, and it's like, did you check out my punt set? Or it's like, oh, hey, don't forget about the fumble recovery.
Come on, baby.
We talk about my stat line.
Don't forget
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, on the goal line,
and it's
bitch,
just-
fuck you mean?
It's just like, I don't know. I just do those things because at the end of the day, it's like we're doing what we're doing, and I don't identify myself with being a football player. I felt like if I did that, then I would probably be more caught up in what people were thinking about me as a football player. But since I'm trying to do different stuff, it's just like, and it's social media, it's just like, whatever.
That's why I look.
That's dope the way to look at it. That's like an aspect of y'all. It's not like I identify, I am football player. It's like, no, I'm Will Compton. A part of that is a football, like a part of that, a big chunk of that. You know what I'm saying? But I like that. It's like, because then you can't get to me with just like, oh, look what you did. It's like, yeah, bro, that was I mean, also, it's like, it can't make me mad either, because it's like, well, you can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It'd be like,
but you don't want to sit there and like say that. I don't want them to feel like they're getting
you're
buying my time with me.
In your head, you get to know, like, oh, like it's like somebody saying, like, oh, bro, your stand up sucks. It's like, bro, it doesn't matter. It means nothing. You don't exist.
You can't do 5 minutes.
You can't even. You couldn't.
It doesn't 3 minutes.
Yeah, bro, it's not even in your world of possibility. So like, I'm not gonna let that upset me that you don't think. You know what I'm saying? Also, when you say that shit, I know for a fact, that's why I own you, is because you want this.
Yeah.
You want to be me, bro. You want this. You want to be on these shows, bro. I know you want this.
Yeah.
I know you want this, dog. That's why you wanted it. Because I wanted it. I got it. I worked really hard and got it.
Absolutely.
Y'all worked really hard to get what you got. And it's like, bro, you mad because you dream of how you wish you could have did this.
Yeah. And off that, it's like, if somebody's getting triggered by something you're doing, or they're trying to jab at you or like pull you down, ultimately it's something that's in them that they're struggling with, that they keenly identify with, that they can't put into words or express it. So the only way to do it is to attack or do something different to you to try and level you to them. The fact that they're even thinking of levels and this and that, it's like, if somebody's going out of their way to do that, there's something that they have going on in them that's bothering them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's like, ultimately, like, when we do all this shit and we're all old and dead, like, no one's even going to remember all of this shit. Like, we're going to remember our teams. Like, that's why old heads, it's always like, all right, man, like, you had your time. Like, we're going to become those. We've talked about before, DB.
Absolutely.
Like, me and you are going to be thinking like, man, you know, this young generation, the same generation before us that thinks we're soft. We're going to think they're soft. They're going to be like, it's a revolutionized world. And we're going to be like, y'all, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to be like, why are y'all trying to reach and do all this? And we're going to be non-existent.
What are you talking about? We're going to be in that bitch arguing. We're going to be looking like Shaq
looking
and
like
Chuck.
Charles. Y'all going to be
Shaq and Chuck.
Chuck and Shaq, bro.
So, like, knowing that ultimately none of it is going to matter, and, like, I don't know, you just enjoying the moment. Like, because we're never going to be doing any of this stuff. And I can't sit there and think, like, if I don't do some of these things, I know I would regret not trying it, like, later down the road.
Yeah.
Like, I know myself 10 years down the road would be like, you should have just done that because it wasn't that fucking serious. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Like, it wasn't that serious. Like, you know, anxiety being in some team meetings, knowing that I might be
That's my
posted
next
on
thing. Wait.
Okay.
That's the next thing I was just coming about to say when we get the transition in here. Because I was about to tell him the story yesterday, or one of the stories, but I was like, I'm just going to wait. How many times have podcasting got you in trouble? And I'm talking about in the facility. Not real trouble. I mean, like, trouble is
my
like, as far
podcast
as
hasn't
you gonna know it's gonna get talked about in the team meeting.
No, that's going to get brought up?
Yeah.
I mean, I live with that on my back. I live with the target on my back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ray follows me. So, and I know people like see, because I'm posting. I post, like I do stuff,
bro,
right?
This nigga
so
be
people
in
are
his
probably
locker,
nervous
bro.
that I might do too much.
Fuck that. This nigga be in his locker, bro. Practice, we got to be on the field at 5:05. Now, he ain't got no clothes on, bro. Just in his towel. But he got in the tub. This nigga on Twitter doing some shit. He on the phone. Hey, bro, you know you got 7 minutes. Yeah.
But hey, first of all, corrected. It might not always be Twitter. I could be messaging Alex Bloss.
He be doing. I'm working, baby.
He do be working there trying to handle stuff.
He do be working. But nigga, you got practice in 7 minutes, fool. This nigga in that bitch. Talking. Hey, Bass, we go. Hey, bro, I see you outside, bro. We got 5 minutes, bro. You crazy as hell. But
so what's that got to do with the question you asked me?
I was just piggybacking off of how much you just be on the phone and just be on your shit like 24/7 doing it. Because every time we walk, like when one time, this is the shit, when we had the episode when you came during the season.
Yes.
After play Buffalo.
Y'all played Buffalo.
We came to the team meeting and Vrabe said, we get motherfucker. I forgot how he said it. He was like, motherfucker got a podcast and no man.
Yeah, here's the real reason he asked that question, by the way.
So
how many times you got in trouble? Honestly, 0. but
no, he gets brought.
How about you, DB?
I did one time. That was my one, man. But at the whole time, he never show it on nothing on the screen or nothing. So the whole time, nobody thought it was me. They all thought it was Will. I'm talking about coaches coming back. Oh, you having podcasts? Oh, you got a podcast going. I saw everybody looking at Will, bro. I'm on this bitch.
Bro, he said, so our owner
but Vrabe is looking
fined.
dead at me. But nobody, because he usually just do that anyway, but they think he's just looking at me just while he's talking.
Yeah.
He's looking at me because, like, it's you, motherfucker. And I'm like, I know.
He's like, so don't be caught. Our owner got fined
For the
huge amount. 300 something.
No, it was, before that, it was 700 for the breakout shit. And then that was 350.
So our owner's not too happy about getting fined $350 for podcasting without masks.
That's what he said, yeah.
Podcasting with teammates without masks on. I'm not going to talk much longer about it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Gave no context.
No context, but the
I'm
whole time
he's sitting there too.
He's
like,
looking dead at me, like we ain't broke eye contact. I'm looking dead at him, like I know he's.
Because you know it's you.
I know it's me. So
do you think it's you? Or are you like,
oh,
shit,
I know
this is
it's
me.
not me. I know it's DB, but I know everyone thinks it's me.
Everybody thought it was him.
Because he'll bring up jokes and joke on me for my social media, and I know everyone's like, this motherfucker comp again, bro. And I'm just saying.
And you can't go, it wasn't me.
Yeah. I mean, coaches coming up to me after the meeting.
All the coaches come
laughing because they like the stuff. They're like, hey, comp, what'd you do? Man, it wasn't fucking me, man.
So that's when they found out I had a podcast. And then everybody was like, oh, bitch, you got the podcast. You in the raw room. But all because you want to fuck with me. I'm like, listen, anytime you want to come on, bro, pull up on the couch. We here for you.
We can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Vrabel had a nice joke on you.
Oh, he did. He was like, I bet you need me to come on your podcast to grow, like build it up or some shit. And I was like, nah, bro, we don't need you to come on talking about cutting dicks off and shit. We straight out those.
He said, what, you got like 5 viewers, DB?
Yeah, he said something. He did kill me on that. Like, bitch, we just started, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Shit.
Yo, to have your coach do that, though.
Bro, Vrabel's all time. He tweeted, the picture I put up of him, it says every inch matters.
Yeah. He
texted me and he goes, still using me for likes, I see. And then he put sad. I sent him another picture where he's sitting there with his hand rested on his face, grinning. I said, this is going to be a comeback of mine from now on, so thank you. But I just mean it as a comeback in general, not like coming back to him.
Yeah.
He takes it, of course, as me coming back to him.
You know he is.
And he's just like, I'll just use your stat line.
Oh,
and then that's when I responded back to him. I said, make sure you use my fumble recovery because turnovers matter. And we just went back and forth, but he's got jokes, man.
Oh, he got them
you
jokes.
Gotta stay on your
he
toes
got them jokes
Vrabel.
for your ass.
Is he the funniest coach I've ever had?
Funniest?
Like funniest. Like, man, this motherfucker's funny, bro.
Nah.
Who's yours? I mean, I would...
Nah, Fish ain't like funny like that. Fish just cool as hell.
Fish was cool. When we met him at the national championship game.
He's just a smooth.
When we were hanging out with him, I was like, damn, this dude is fucking cool, bro. He was
he's just
beer
cool.
in hand, just chilling, man. It was vibes.
I guess he might be fun. I'm trying to think.
Vrave's got the
I had a linebacker coach my first 2 years around, Frank Bush. That man funny as hell. He was he played for the Oilers back in the day. He just an old coach. Motherfucker been in the league like 40 years. He was just a funny ass old dude. Black dude too, so one of them.
You mean head coach though, right?
Well, I was head coach.
Head coach gotta be. Head coach is just a different animal because you got to be different. You're a position coach, like you can be kind of the funny guy. You know what I mean?
You can
let the coach, the head coach, do the hard shit, and you can be the
Yeah, like Jim. Jim is different. Obviously, linebacker role than his with DC or his head coaching days in the Saints.
Yeah,
I guarantee there was 3 different type of coaches.
Yes,
because right now he is fucking 64, so he ain't trying to get too mad about too much shit. I mean, what the fuck? They gonna blow a goddamn gasket. He's
played in the league for 10 years. 10 years.
He gonna blow a gasket out that bitch. Man, I almost got took off the sideline. You remember that shit?
Yeah,
bruh. I thought we were gonna be going to a funeral the next couple of days, bruh. The play come to the sideline. Jim standing there. He didn't even move. First of all, the play coming, bruh, and they just so happen to go right past him. I'm talking about this is a 64-year-old man.
Yeah,
that played double-digit years of football in the pros, at least. You know what I'm saying? So roided. He was part of the Royd scandal. So you can tell his bones are fucking done. All that shit. Just think about that man we got hit by 2 whole niggas in the NFL.
Also, without seeing it come, without fully like.
But that man was looking down.
I mean, he tried anticipating and trying to, but he decided to back up out of the way. Like he's just.
He was like this.
Yeah.
He was fucking He didn't even know what to do. And that shit was like, damn, bro, you need to take your ass to the booth. Shit. That's how we had to do LeBeau old ass. LeBeau ass used to be on, man, LeBeau. You 80, whatever the fuck. Take your ass up there, bro. Get the eye in the sky.
Get the eye in the sky.
Too old for this shit. What's coming for your 8th year, you just finished it up. What would be your best memory as far as, I know every locker room is different. You know what I'm saying? You've been in 3 locker rooms, same as me. I've been in 3 locker rooms, well, 3.5, 3.25 in Houston Texans. That shit was a debacle.
He said 3.25.
But
3.25 Saints too.
Oh yeah, you did do the Saints. That's a cool. Oh yeah,
shout out to Saints.
Shout out to the Saints.
Shout out to the Saints.
Oh yeah, you're right. So, but like your experience coming through all these locker rooms and being able to meet all these. That's what my favorite thing about that shit, like meeting all these type of different players and seeing all these backgrounds. And I feel like that's a good thing about having a podcast too, because you get to meet you met all these players.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Especially going through Nebraska, you going through a top school, Power 5 school. Like, what was your best memory like coming through locker rooms as far as just interaction with the players, with your teammates? Like
funniest memory? Or you saying like my best
fun,
locker room I've been in? Or
I mean, I know your best locker room.
What?
Us, nigga, last year. I know.
Debatable.
Nigga, you said
I'm just kidding. Well, I tell everybody that, though. You got to understand.
Oh, so you a lying ass nigga.
Oh, yeah. I say whatever it takes, man. I'm just
kidding. Just like the white man.
Yeah. Yo, Wilson, I say whatever it takes, bro.
Favorite locker room is definitely got to be the boys. That's where a lot of this stuff came about.
He lying. What do you mean? I don't even...
Look, ever since now that I said that you're hurt. Just say that you're hurt.
Yeah, nigga, I'm hurt. No. Because we had that was one of the best locker rooms.
Wait, which year? 18 or this year?
I said 18.
Yeah, I
said
enjoyed
18 and then
But I don't say that to diminish to
It's
minimize anything. I love this year too.
It's just I think it was just the Vraves first year. You know, we understand the Vraves. He wasn't the same as he is now, I say.
Yeah, he's definitely, he's getting.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a little, I feel like it was just more the players was more glued together, just trying to figure that shit out.
You had Rack, you had old heads that were there.
Matter of fact, I just seen D Morgan target that.
The locker room just felt it just you knew it was a team ran locker room. To where now you have more younger guys coming in, so you know the culture's continuing to get built and stuff. But it was just different, and I was there the whole offseason too. So you got to create those friendships and stuff like that.
That's another thing, being able to be there
playing the sword game.
Time. Yep.
Like that's why it was better because OTAs this past year was non-existent.
Yeah,
because of COVID. So you didn't have OTAs to be a part of. You didn't have, I mean, I wasn't with them in training camp, neither was DB yet, but we came in and then you're part of all the COVID protocols. So you're not like the stuff that makes like the locker rooms awesome.
Yeah.
You're not able to be in the locker room longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
You're spaced out. Like
you can't eat.
You got walls up.
You can't eat together. Like, so you got to go in the bubble.
Cafeteria shut down.
The cafeteria shut, so you take your food and go. You got to eat that joint in the bubble, like with tables, everybody, one person at a table, and spread the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and then you got our meeting rooms are in the bubble, but you're spread out in the meeting rooms. You're not in separate rooms. You can hear other coaching going on. So you don't feel extremely comfortable like being in a like secluded area.
That's why I said a lot of
talk
guys
about amongst the linebackers.
Yeah.
If you're like, don't like someone, you don't want to talk to like, because you don't know who's listening. But
I mean, even though Harold, we was fucking with Harold.
Yeah, you mess with Harold all the time. But like just that type of stuff that you didn't get, it definitely made you like appreciate like, damn, like the best parts is like when you get all that camaraderie and like the locker rooms and sitting at the cafeteria and stuff like that. So 18 was definitely probably the most fun year. As far as memory, shit, I don't even know, man. The funniest time, I forget.
You want to say when you was at the Skins, when y'all had that little run?
Yeah.
Y'all,
but I mean, I never been a part of like an outright playoff team that we had this year. Because remember, I was like,
y'all won the division that year.
But we had to come back and win the division. So it's similar to what y'all did last year.
Yeah,
when you were 9-7, because that's what we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely being part of that, because that's when I got to start. That's when I got to take over. That's when I kind of got to play linebacker and be part of the starting offense. And the next year, becoming the captain and stuff. That was probably my most memorable time as a football player, was probably that like chain of events. As far as funniest moments, I mean, that's who knows.
No, that's why I said, that's why I didn't say funny, because that can be fucking any day of the week.
Yeah,
locker room. It could just be any time somebody
right. Somebody's doing something
like
funny.
the time Mac, you wasn't in there when fucking Can't Wait came to the Titans, bro. This nigga had bought on Amazon like the hottest hot sauce in the world, and was like paying niggas like, hey, if you drink this.
Talk about Dickie?
Yes,
I heard about it.
Oh my God, bro. So one nigga like put a dab on it and he gave him $50. One nigga put like the same thing that this nigga Dickie like. But first he like, that shit, got this shit like 1,000. He like, I got this shit easy, but that wasn't even that, probably like 100. It wasn't even that much. Man, next you know, probably like 5 minutes later, this man start getting red. He start like itching and sweating. Motherfucker like, I gotta throw. He start throwing up. So now it's time for walkthrough. We gotta go walk through. Dickie ain't make it, bro. They come back in, Dickie on the ground. Fucking trainers is all there. They got ice on this nigga. He had to go to the hospital, bro.
Yes, bro.
Like for real, like what like the pump his stomach?
Yeah, some shit like that.
They had to do something. But yeah, when he was talking to me, he's like, I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. And then, but the funny thing about it is when Braves get note of it, that motherfucker was laughing his ass off. They put up notes around, do not drink hot sauce. Do not drink hot sauce. Hey, yeah. Bro, when I say that shit was so funny, so when Dickie came back, like, I think he came back like 2 days later, bro. He had to like rest off a day, bro. Man, I was my everybody.
Dickie's funny too.
But Dickie hilarious
because he's quiet.
He's quiet, but he's like, you big as hell, bro. Say something, do something, strong ass nigga. Just do that. Look like, you know what I'm saying? He's big as hell, bro. He just
he was nice as hell.
Eyes always bloodshot.
Always. Like,
bro, what are you
just
doing?
Wake up.
Yeah.
Did you go stick your face in a chlorine pool? The fuck?
Like, we're in a walkthrough. What is wrong with you?
Hey, do you remember paint-offs?
Paint-offs? No.
You don't remember that? Y'all done had them in Washington? When by the time I got came to the Titans, that shit was over with. Paint-off, you remember them? It was like half of a Toradol, basically, but in 2 pills of, like, it was like a Tylenol, but they called it paint-off. It was like a Toradol, but it was like half of a.
No, I've just always been copious amounts of Toradol.
Yeah.
Get the shot until you can't get the shot.
Or just stack the pills.
Stack the pills.
Just because you never know, you might need it for a rainy day.
Caffeine, Toradol.
Caffeine and Toradol. I mean, I'd be on the same concoction.
Cocktail.
That's the cocktail, bro.
That's the cocktail.
Caffeine. And that's before
that's
every game.
Yeah, that's game day. It's
not
Toradol
at work too every day because we coffee.
Well, every day at work,
day.
yeah, caffeine and like different anti-inflammatories, not as strong.
Diclo.
I mean, you're on anti-inflammatories and caffeine all season long. So when you get done, like I'll try and fast and do different things to try and help my gut.
Yeah.
But because you're just fucked at the end of the year, gut wise. You know what I mean? Because you're just putting
because you're doing that to yourself.
anti-inflammatories like destroy your gut lining.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shit's wild, man. But yeah.
Remember that time you walked in the locker room and then in the Raw Room's Twitter account said for 500 likes and retweets we'll cut Will
Yes,
Compton.
I remember that.
Remember that shit?
I remember going to DBS before the Packers game, and I was like, it was like cut the hair or something like that, right? I was like, hey.
Hey, bro. I went on the first bus, bro. I went on the first bus.
I didn't agree to that.
I went on the first bus, so I'm in the locker room. I'm getting my shit on, then doing stuff. He just walked up like straight from the bus, bro. Bag still in hand. Ain't walked to the locker yet. But what the fuck is what's this tweet about cutting my hair? I'm like, bro, relax.
Hey, you see how the stories are different? You think I was nervous?
Are you serious? So you ain't walking out?
You think I was nervous about it actually getting cut?
I'm just saying the way you approached me.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what's the deal?
You feel me?
Hey, what's the deal?
Well, I just want to know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, baby, I ain't got nothing to do with that, baby. I'm in here getting ready for the game.
Was that you? Yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
But you can't be cutting his hair now.
But I'm saying, a lot of people hated that shit. I tried to explain to so many people, even Chris Long, I tried to explain to him the reason why you did it. The reason why.
I think a lot of people loved it.
I think it was like a 50-50.
You know, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You know what I mean?
That's how it should. Hey.
It did more than what I wanted it to do, which is ultimately
That's all
good.
the time good. Yeah.
Which is ultimately a good thing.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
I thought you looked good, especially when you came with this. I was
I thought you looked
only
good.
thing I was
The suit was what
disappointed.
I
I
like,
was
bro, with the
disappointed when you
motherfucker.
didn't have a razor. No, you did have a razor. You didn't have the cigarette. No, you did have the cigarette. You didn't have the razor. You're supposed to have a razor.
Oh, in the
cigarette.
peaky. Yeah. I didn't have the.
That's the only thing you didn't have. But other than that,
hat.
like they could have used you as an extra.
Right.
You was in that bitch.
Right. I could be on an episode of Peaky Blinders, I feel like. Hopefully it got their attention.
But could you do the accent? Could you talk like them?
The Peaky fucking Blinders.
Okay.
Peaky fucking Blinders.
But that's just one line though. You gotta be
It's
able
just
to
one
say,
line for sure.
give me something like, all right,
Peaky fucking
take the weed and leave the money. What movie is that from?
Take the weed and leave the money. It was at Friday?
That's racist.
It sounds like
Yes, it's a black movie. Top shot. Take the what and leave the what?
oh, that's right.
Take the weed and leave the money. Take the what and leave the what? Fat boy want to take the weed and leave the money.
No, but you said it like the guy because you said take the weed,
Nah,
leave the money.
Because I want him to say it
Yeah,
in that type of accent.
Say that again.
Take the weed, leave the money.
leave the money. Like take the cannoli, leave the gun.
Peaky fucking Blinders. Take the weed and leave the money. We do rum and guns.
There we go. There we
do
go.
rum and guns.
That's
we don't
close.
do weed. I don't even know how to really say weed in that accent.
They wouldn't even try to say weed. They'd be like,
Everyone's a whole Grace. We just sell different parts of ourselves. See, I can't really do it there.
Nah,
yet.
you can't
I'd have
do
to
it.
work on it.
You
I'd have
would
to get
have to
obsessed
work
with
on it.
acting. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to?
Have
Do
to
you want to?
That's what I was just finna say, because I do want to get into that realm of work, but I don't want to be on camera because I don't want to be like, have to cut my hair, we got to cover your tattoo. I ain't doing all that shit. I want to be the voiceover. I want to be the nigga on Soul. I want to be the nigga on Disney.
Oh, you want to do an
Plus.
animated movie?
I don't give a fuck what it is.
You kind of do. You just said you don't want to do certain things.
I mean-
So you do give a fuck.
I want to be able to say shit like that. I want to be like on Boondocks. I want to be like, you know what I'm saying,
Animate
John
voiceover.
Witherspoon. You
Yeah,
feel me?
animated.
Yeah, but
But it don't matter what it is.
That's
like,
what
you
I'm
just
saying.
wanna be
Yeah,
on animated.
I just want to
Trying
be
to voiceover.
I just want to do voiceover. I think that'd be fire as hell. Plus,
Hell yeah.
I ain't got to show my face. I ain't got to do. So anybody got to, oh, you fucking sucked, and you know what I'm saying? They ain't got to be talking shit.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to make me.
No, voiceover work is huge, bro. Like
Big time.
It's
Slink
also really hard to get
Johnson,
into.
I like that shit. I didn't know Slink Johnson was the GTA. Franklin Homeboy, I was the Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Black Jesus. I didn't know that.
It's like because that's like a crazy tight world to get in. It's like stand up. It's like it's really hard to get into the voiceover world. How far do you want to take it? How far do you podcasting? Career's over. Like how far do you?
Yeah, I
want to
got
take
asked that question today. In 10 years, do you see yourself still doing this podcast, or like, where do you see your podcast
or going
to?
on to a TV show? You see what I'm saying? Like how far do you want to take it?
I mean, I want to take it. I do want to continue to do it. In 10 years down the road, I see myself being in the media world of some sort, not in a way of like, you know, corporate buttoned up ESPN type thing, but like what I'm doing. I want to make the brand so strong that when you are somebody from Nashville, you're visiting somebody out in California, and say you're sitting down and somebody brings up, hey, did you catch that Bussin' With The Boys? Or, hey, what's Bussin' With The Boys? That person who's from Nashville wants to say that they're from Nashville because they want to feel like they help make this brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I want at some point down the road, hopefully in the near future, we have a space where you put the bus and similar to the Wings in the Gulch, that people from Nashville are telling their friends who came in town, like, hey, go get your picture with the bus. Yeah. And people from Nashville don't necessarily feel like they need to line up and take a picture or get a picture with the bus because they feel like they're in Nashville. Like,
Nashville.
This is our brand. This is our thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how much I want the brand to identify with Nashville.
I was about to say with the city, with the city. Yeah.
I want it to
grow
always,
with the city.
Yeah, because we're similar, just like this. We're homegrown and home owned, and we want it to stay that way. And we want it to be a brand of Nashville because when you think of Nashville, you think of like the Music City, you think of healthcare. And Music City is just a bunch of artists, bunch of celebrity artists that live in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
There's not like legit brands. I mean, there's definitely some coming, but there's not like a brand you can sit there and look at and be like, oh, that's Nashville. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I want with Bussin'. I don't necessarily know what it looks like. Like, my vision gets all over the place sometimes. Like, because I want to scale and grow so fast and stuff like that because I ultimately would like to the next generation or any generation of athletes to look at Bussin' and to look at what we're doing and feel like I can do this shit. Like if he's doing it, there's a blueprint to follow. It's out there, similar to what I did with all the other podcasts that inspire me or shows that inspire me. And look at it and be like, he's doing it. And, yes, Taylor was first round, all that stuff, but this is somebody that wasn't a superstar, who's confident enough to go out and put himself in front of the camera, who's confident enough to step out and have these open conversations, knowing that dealing with probably all the vulnerabilities and insecurities that I'm sitting here while I'm watching him being like, why don't I do that type of thing? So like inspiring that next kind of athlete that sees it, that wants to do it. I would love to have like a platform that helps facilitate them getting in that world. I don't know what it all looks like. I just know I do want to continue to do this once football's over.
So you kind of want to kind of be like a Pat McAfee vibe.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, like
I don't know how much we want to get into that world of just like up to date sports. Like for me personally, I enjoy the stories.
That means you gotta watch all day long.
That means
you've
literally, you've got to be obsessed to where you are following sports all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but I would love to do it as enjoying it as a fan.
Absolutely. Instead of having to do all the stats and in and outs and the asking this motherfucker questions,
right?
Like, what happened over there? You know what I'm saying? When y'all, because I know Chris Long got to do that shit. And I'm like, but you just played 11
He's
years.
good at it too. No, he loves doing it.
Oh yeah, he's great at that shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, bro, you put in 20-some weeks of this. Like constantly watching games, up late at night, recording late at night so that bitch can come out in the morning.
Yeah, he grinds, bro.
He grinds, but he enjoys it. He enjoys
He put a lot of money into it.
Well, yeah, that shit. And that's another thing about podcasting. That shit. If you trying to have that shit looking good.
People don't get how hard the shit is.
No, they think, they just fucking put a camera in the microphone.
Just get it going.
Yeah. Because I was telling, I was talking to the Barstool sales team, and I was just kind of talking about the story. And I was just like, the difference where we're at is we were the first NFL active show. Now there's more raw room, trust levels. Like there's more coming. And we're right now, aside from you, the only NFL active show that operates all year round. So, and we created our platform.
That's what we was definitely saying during the season. The only two
I was telling
NFL podcasts. We used to tell the coaches too. Well, listen, only two NFL podcasters in the league, baby.
We're just podcasters.
We're just podcasters in the NFL.
Yeah, and I would just say like, and it's like, and that's strong because we made our platform. Like there wasn't a media brand that came in and built this platform for us, or say, hey, we got an idea. We would love you two to be on it.
Yeah,
like we created our platform. And the whole homegrown, home operated thing, like we have that. And I think stories are ultimately what sell. And we have that hell of a story to where we're grassroots. It's easier to root for. Like you want to back it more because it's like, hey, we see that these guys are going about this on their own. It was something we made for ourselves. Nobody like made for us to just fill a seat. And so it's like having those conversations, getting back to your, like, how do I see it being? Like, you know, obviously everyone talks about being like Joe Rogan, but his style of podcasting to where he's talking and learning from people from all different industries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All different industries. And he does it all the time. And his are like 3 hours long. I don't see that, but it's like having that platform that ultimately athletes or people want to be on to talk about their story and who they are and shit like that and having fun, do all that kind of stuff. But just continue to be a show where people come on, they feel like they can put their guard down and just throw some whiskey back and sit and talk because they feel comfortable because they're like, all right, they've been in a similar seat. So I feel like I can say certain things on here. If you don't like it, you can always tell us and we take it out. Part of being our For the Boys dynamic.
That's
have you guys had I'm not going to say anything. Have you had to do that yet?
Yo, yeah. Multiple times.
Where the guest said something or you said something and they were like, hey, can you take that out?
Yes.
The guest said something like, you know what, I shouldn't
have.
And they're like, hey, I shouldn't have said that. I got too.
Taylor and I have had a couple things where we're like, we probably shouldn't have that on, whether it's something maybe in the season or something that's too tight-centric to where you're like, you know, because ultimately, like, you know, we do represent the Titans, and you want to ever
That's why I
tarnish
stopped
that name.
doing the teammate pod and just started doing all Zoom with just random people, Jason Weaver, Chris Randone, you know what I'm saying, Andre Reed, just doing Zoom podcasts because, like, if I'm talking with teammates, it's the chance of that happening. They might say something they like.
And if you're in the season, you feel me? You know, guys were like giving me hell for, you know, why haven't I mean, you've been one of them too, but you're coming on. Yeah, I know we're gonna get to that. Hang on, let's not get to you.
Will.
A lot of dudes.
The locker room erupted that day.
Yeah, locker room, because a lot of guys are giving me shit like why they haven't been on.
No, but that bitch, I went the fuck off. I was loud as fuck.
Yeah,
too.
Apparently DB saw it as a moment. He had a crowd.
And
so he started.
I had the whole crowd.
Knowing.
Oh, you green as hell, Cock. Yeah, that nigga green as fuck. Get on his head. Oh, and then AJ come over there, bitch. Damn, why you had man? No, you done had the panda on.
Hey, biggest regret. That's my biggest regret. Thank God we had Jamil on too.
Shout out to Jamil. He was just on. Y'all already caught the episode, baby.
With DB, like DB already knew, like DB knew. He's just sitting there fueling the fire.
I'm just fueling that bitch. I want everybody.
But there is that dynamic of having too many Titans players on back to back stuff like that because you start to box it in as like a Titans thing and something where eyes are going to be on it, and you don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the organization. Like, you know, there's Vrabe and I have gone back and forth, and I'll always try and check my boxes. Like, I know I act and do all this different stuff on social and stuff. And, you know, like with Under the Hood and stuff, like there's stuff that I will, you know, you get cleared or Vrabe like, hey, do you feel like that's a good thing to kind of put on? And you'll kind of rethink certain things. But ultimately, you don't want to do anything that hurts the pod, especially when you got somebody like Taylor, who is like who's one of the faces of the team.
Exactly.
And you don't want to do nothing to tarnish that. Like, regardless where I feel like I'm at in my career, I also have a responsibility for my boy because he's going to continue to play as long as he wants to play.
Absolutely.
But that is a reason you don't sit there and just shovel everybody on the Titans because you just don't want to. You don't want to make it like a thing where
just Titans.
Yeah.
Plus, you want to have that broad audience. You want to have all these different genre of people coming on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? From different backgrounds.
Exactly. And then you sprinkle in throughout the year the Titans players that people are, you know, wanting to say, oh, this is finally it, blah, blah, blah. Like when it finally does get to happen, there's going to be so much of the buildup from it to where he's been chirping, Twitter chirps, like does all that stuff to where it's going to be awesome when it finally does happen. But yeah, that's a thing that we always think about is just the editing thing is like you might take some things out that have to do that could hurt the organization not hurt the organization, but do something to where we could be talked about. Will or Taylor could be talked about in a way that talks about the organization. Yeah. Not nothing with the organization, but you do got to think about that stuff and you say something and you leave and you don't want something on it. You let me know and I take it off. Yeah. Like Shaw and Theo, both, multiple edits. I was surprised.
This motherfucker I had to edit a lot of shit out of.
It low-key surprises me because when you're watching this World of Podcast.
This motherfucker just can't. He says one word that we just don't allow.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
but what were you?
I was basically saying it was kind of surprising to me because it's just funny just how we're all human about it, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll sit and watch these pods with all the guys I was inspired by, and you just think, man, like how are they in that level of whether you want to call it confidence or awareness or whatever, to where, you know, when Shaub's like no one cares. Like, you know, it's in Nashville. We didn't hear about like, it's going to go away. Like stuff doesn't like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then like, you think that, and then when they'll come back wanting stuff edited out, you're like, oh man, like
I
figured it wasn't like, you know, much of a thing.
Yeah. I love that you asked him how long. You were like, hey, how long you guys gonna do King in this thing for real? Like, that you were on their ass, dog. That shit was.
But
so funny.
I didn't know. Like you sit there and you're going in the pod and you're like, oh, you know, maybe there's a.
Because
you don't know.
They both
don't know. You
they
don't
both
know.
do two.
In my mind, I'm
podcasts.
sitting there with two comedians that have to do all the podcasts, or they live in this world that's always out in front of people, right?
Yeah.
So you just think like they got shit figured out. That's what you think in your mind.
Like, oh yeah, they have a plan. There is a plan for everything.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
all planned.
But just like with every person, everybody going after anything, doing anything in any space, moving in any space, people do like, it's just not like the reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's human about certain things. And you wouldn't like, I had no clue that like, oh, there seems
because when you said it, I saw it. Also, I love it because it looked like Taylor was like, "Oh, let's back off this." And you were like, "No. Wait, Taylor, no. What do I feel right now? What's this feeling in the room?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?" But that shit was great.
Because Theo's like, oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, why won't you come to that show? I'm like, oh man, there might be something.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going
But
on.
also, I will say this: Theo's so good that you don't know. You never know.
But you never know if he's
telling the
serious
truth
or if
he's joking, or
you don't know what the fuck, because he hit
Yeah.
you with the fucking wordplay. That's ridiculous.
Also, he'll say some shit like where he'll be like, "Man, I grew up with a kid who had a metal shirt." on."
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, you laugh, and then he'll start talking for real, and you're like, oh, he's dead fucking.
He's
He's
dead fucking
dead fucking.
serious.
And he'll show you like, oh, there was a kid with a metal shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you don't. But then the next sentence, he is fucking around. So
Right,
like, how do
and
you know?
you never know. And you might be saying something to where you're joking or messing with him, and he just kind of like legitimately thinks about it. Nah, you know, I think. And then you say something, you're like,
dude, I was.
hey, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Because I love that you bring comedians on. I'm sorry, I just want to ask this question. Who's your dream? And I want to ask you too. Who's your dream comedian guest? Because you both have comedians on the pod. Who's your like as far as just comedians go, stand up goes? You're like, man, I want this stand up on. Like, who? I feel like Bert Kreischer for me, because I like y'all's podcast and listen to it. I feel like he would be a crazy guest for y'all.
Yeah,
'Cause he
and
would fit the vibe.
we're in contact with him and stuff too. So I know he's coming in the summer to perform.
That's
So
fine.
I definitely want to set it up to where he
yeah.
comes on the bus.
'Cause his
Because I do
vibe.
think, his vibe is awesome, bro.
It's off the chain.
We just had Nate Bargatze on.
Dope.
He
He's a
was
Nashville
awesome.
guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's got something coming out on
Netflix got a new
March
special.
13th
March
or
8th,
something?
like March 18th, he's got a new special.
something like that. It's like the best. He's like the best average American or something.
Yeah, the bet like the greatest average American. or something like that.
Yeah. He was really good. That we're doing that one next week, or that one comes out this next week. But dream comedian. I don't know, bro. I mean, if we had Chappelle on the bus one day, I feel like that.
I think anybody would want
that's
Chappelle.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the,
If we're talking pre-pandemic, probably D'Elia. You know
So
what I
if
mean?
you got him on now, talk about the biggest episode.
He's coming back.
He just dropped some shit. He just said some shit.
He did, and I'm glad he did. And I respected watching that video, and like
too.
it seems like he's been going through some shit.
Yeah,
But,
you see how long it took him to respond. You goddamn right. He's been
Absolutely.
going through some shit.
Absolutely. But D'Elia would be. I mean, he was legit somebody. I had followed D'Elia since his Vine days.
Yeah.
Like Vine, when I was doing Vines, and it would be like you had to find the right hashtag to get in front of people on Vine.
Yeah.
It wasn't to where it was categories, where it evolved a little bit. I had known about D'Elia since he was like machine gunning his puppies on Vine.
Yeah, bro, that shit was hilarious.
Him and Sasso, and then they did the 10-minute podcast. Like, I've been following those boys since back then. So having guys like that on, I think, would be dope. I mean, we got to have Shaub on. Shaub was an awesome
That's what I'm
guest.
saying.
Like when that happened, when y'all came and it was like, hey, Shaub's coming on this date. Like Chandler's like, we can probably get him on if you want him. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And we sent him that video and he's like, yeah. Or what's up, champ? Yeah, for sure. I'll come on. I was like, oh, let's fucking go. Because Fire and the Kid was one. That's another thing that kind of taken on
yeah, post-pandemic's changed everything.
Yeah,
Hell
no
yeah.
doubt. But yeah, dream guest would obviously be the dream guest. The pinnacle for me
Who?
is obviously Rogan. Is Rogan sitting on the bus? Because he doesn't necessarily do anybody.
He doesn't do anyone's pod. He talks about how he doesn't do anyone's pod. Like,
yeah,
why
right.
he doesn't.
Right,
doesn't.
exactly.
3 to 4 a week. Why would I do?
Like, he don't need to go.
Yeah, he's like,
exactly. So
and he says, he's like, I remember he said to somebody, he was like, why, just come do my pod. He's like, why? Because you want people to, it's the most gay thing. He said, you want people to see it?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it was like, damn.
Man, no shit,
he's talking
though.
to somebody with a big pod, too. So it's like,
you at least get a couple thousand off of them listeners to your shit.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the dream, though. Here's the fucking dream, boys. You get the bus, some form or fashion. It probably won't happen, but this is like that inconceivable goal. You get that bus parked right outside of his spot, right outside of his complex, and you just sit that thing there.
That bitch there.
Until we have his attention, till we get his attention. And if he's like, why would you just come on my pod? It's like, let's do your pod, but we do it on the bus. So then his Joe Rogan Experience is an episode just on the bus.
That's huge.
That would be insanely. I mean, that would be.
You win.
Right. It probably won't happen, but that's like.
Okay, as long as you
that's
know
like
that
the
shit
dream,
ain't
right there. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
If my man is sitting on the bus,
First of all, you ain't gonna be able to get on the parking lot.
It's hard because the dude just.
I guarantee you gotta go through security to get through the parking lot.
I'm sure there's a lot of hoops.
We ain't parking that bus, no.
But realistically, though, we're not many connections removed from trying to just be on a radar.
You being in that realm, you getting in that realm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Shaw,
y'all shit on
like,
steroids, bro. Y'all shit, because I said it because it's the fast. Nigga, what, 2018?
When we started ours? Yeah.
2018 to 2021, just started 2021, and these motherfuckers doing numbers.
Wait, 2019.
Same shit.
It's not better.
Motherfuckers doing numbers.
Yeah.
All right? It doesn't make it sound bad. That's even crazier that motherfucker doing 6 digits. You know what I'm saying? Off of views, off of likes, subscription, all that bullshit. That shit.
It's like before the pandemic hit, we were set. The boys were gonna do LA. Boys do LA. We had this thing with Chevy that ultimately fell through. It sucked.
We were gonna do like a pod run too, like.
But we were gonna go do LA because I had been in contact with Shaw. He's like, "You guys ever get out to LA? You know, we'll kind of like car wash you or whatever." And that's what I was trying to put together, and that fell through because of COVID and everything else. But that would have been sick. Like we still have, like Taylor and I still want to go out and try and hit the rounds in LA if we can and stuff.
What would you do to go get on other people's pods?
I have no clue.
Oh, they ain't even.
But yeah,
you didn't even get that far to know
I would
what
love
the fuck
to.
going on.
Yeah, obviously you would reach out to Brennan and stuff, and I'm sure you try and get on those. You just try and get on those LA-based pods, but then also try and interview people for Bussin. You do similar to Spittin' Chicklets. You would go out, they get you like a hotel room, you deck out with Bussin stuff, and you would just, shovel people through and knock out a multiple number of pods in LA, since people in LA won't necessarily travel to Nashville to come get on the bus. You would just do Bussin themed room and then do Bussin with the Boys, us going out and trying to make our pods happen, basically. You're kind of showing us getting on the road, going and trying to do whatever to make certain conversations happen. That would ultimately be like the dream thing with Rogan. Now, if we ever did anything with Rogan, we would probably be sitting, hopefully, in his studio.
In the spaceship, man.
Yeah, in the spaceship, bro. And
damn,
well, you know what you're saying? Because I was talking about him earlier, and you said it, bro. My favorite thing about Rogan, because is he books his podcast. You want to get on Rogan, you got Rogan out. You got to hit him up there. He's going to hit you up. And I've had so many homies that just were like, bro, I'm going on Rogan. You know what I'm saying? And because because if you look at his podcast, he'll have Elon Musk on, and then some comedian you've never heard of ever.
Never heard of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, yo, it's my pod. I'll do what the fuck I want to do. I'll have who I want to have on. So when you say like, oh, bro, it's not that far believable because I'm not that far removed. Bro, I feel the same way because you're not that far removed. And I've seen it happen where he's like, oh, I like, like, that's why I got in touch with him. Michelle was like, yo, Rogan likes you. I don't know, but he wants your number. And then you see what I'm saying? So it ain't far removed, bro. And you never know. So
you truly never know.
Especially with somebody like that, where it's like, oh man, there's all it takes is him just being like, oh, I like this. I like what they got
just
going.
to vibe with something. And like, because we had Dale Earnhardt Jr. zoomed in, and we had him on the pod. And they're coming to Nashville, and I hit him up. I'm like, hey, you come to Nashville, you got to get on the bus. And he's like, oh, I'll have a beer with the boys. And it's just like, if you just never know. It's the whole thing. Like, you just never know.
Niggas just really taking a shot.
You truly never know. You just take a shot. Yeah. Like one day when we was on the pod and Taylor just tries calling Mahomes after he signed his deal. Oh, yeah. And he answers.
Crazy.
And he's just like, oh, I'm a big fan of seeing your guys' stuff on social media. And it's just like, not saying he's like in some different dimension where he doesn't see it, but you just don't realize who actually catches and sees some of your stuff. And you just never know.
But that moment has now now, like you said, you're like, oh man, all the chirps to get debates on because of when you wait for it. That moment is going to lead to when Mahomes is on. Now it's a
bigger thing.
Just from him calling, it's like, oh, it's better to even hold on to that episode,
right?
And just let's sit on that moment for a long time, because when he comes on, it's going to be like finally,
and then it's not, there's no more like it all starts to like it's like, oh, they're actually doing it.
Yeah,
for real.
Like, yeah, they're for real.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, all that shit, bro.
I mean, y'all been for real. Like, it ain't like it's.
Yeah, but the first,
y'all one of the big boys.
But the first, by the time y'all came on and stuff, like, I mean, you're nervous about any episode. Like, Shaw was like the first one I did I had Chandler on the co-host because you're so nervous about actually doing your first like one-on-one with somebody that you like, look up to in the podcast world, the show world. Because after that, Shaw, afterwards, he's like, hey man, what y'all have is dope. Like, if you ever need any help, like, anything, I kind of transitioned because, I was fascinated with Shaw about it. He was like an athlete who transitioned from fighting to that media world, trying to, probably nervous as hell, stepping into comedy, trying to become somebody in comedy. Just doing all those things that where you're just like, that's somebody you just kind of watch from afar because he made the transition. Not many athletes have been doing that kind of stuff.
Hell no.
And he wasn't the most famous fighter in the world either. Like,
exactly.
When people always just try to throw that insult at him, would be like, oh man, he's only a big comic because he was a big fighter. And it's like, bro, he wasn't a big fighter.
Exactly.
He's a way bigger comic in that world than he ever was a fighter. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was until he was doing stand-up.
Right.
I didn't know him as a fighter.
Exactly. And he's always kind of been that underdog that's transitioned and done these things that are kind of, outside of the box and than the typical athlete. And so having him on and he's like, anytime you want help or like, voice or an opinion or advice, like don't hesitate to hit me up, gives me his number, and had mentored me through kind of the whole Barstool scene, like mentored me through a few different things to where you just make those connections, man. And again, you just never know. Yeah. And you're thankful for guys like Shaw, like McAfee. I got the FaceTime with McAfee when we were doing it. And he's the dude who was like, if you're going to do it consistently. Like, because at the time when we started it, we were just going to do it in the summer.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah, that's what they told me, Rogan and Shaw. They were like, the whole game of starting a podcast is just consistency.
Right. And
cannot take a week off. There is no, sorry, no, like, of course these mistakes are going to happen, but it has to keep coming.
Right.
It has to keep coming.
And Pat was like, if you're going to do these episodes, whatever you have, like we were just planning on doing it in the summer because they were like, you don't want the priority. Again, you're trying to, no one had been doing it. It's not like
so
you're just taking a shot. And I hadn't been signed on the team yet.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there wondering, like, is this type of world that I'm entering in and putting out there and talking like this and doing all this? Am I about to play myself out of the league? Like, is nobody gonna be like, he's not worth bringing on, blah, blah, blah. Not that I was doing anything outlandish, but it's just like, do you want any kind of distraction to enter in an organization? And you're nervous as hell doing it. When you get on the phone with Pat, he's like, look, if you're gonna do it, and right now it's once a week, and you have extra episodes, like, do what you can and try to survive the year and do once a week. Like, don't just do it in the summer, take the season off and then revamp it back up.
The motherfucker he's like, about your ass.
Yeah,
he's like, you can do it. He's like, but I'm telling you, consistency is the key in this game and, talking to your audience, blah, 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 this and that. But Pat, Brandon, like all those dudes who kind of mentor me through it all, like that's where I kind of get all the ideas. And that's how I've kind of helped build like Bussin into what it is just because of like those dudes helping me out along the way. So, it's like that saying, like, you never want to actually meet your heroes because you'd be let down in person. Like, fortunately, those dudes, they weren't that. They were like, pivotal in our growth as a brand.
Yeah.
To where you take that, and anytime we have a conversation, it's like, this is what you look at doing. This is why we did this. This is why we did that. It's nothing that you come up with. Like,
that hallway. What the fuck y'all did that for? Oh man, we was doing it because this for real.
Yeah.
Nigga, we in the house. We just got a football meeting. Nigga, we talking about podcast.
Exactly, bro. And it's like, the blueprints of success are out there. Like, no one's recreating a wheel. No one's doing that. Everybody's taking ideas somewhere else. Originality is kind of like, there will be some original idea every now and then, but people are kind of just inspired by what they've seen throughout
and they're taking and put their little twist on it.
It's like the blueprint's out there, and I just try and find and ask as many questions as possible from people who I perceive as doing it like at a high level. The Fighter and the Kids of the world, McAfee shows of the world. I haven't got to talk to Rogan, but I watch from afar.
See, that's why I got to learn from Matt Barnes. I just DM him. I ain't DM him a paragraph, bro. They might just DM him back his number. Hit me up. Nigga, I called him. He ain't answered. Then the motherfucker FaceTimes me. Nigga, you don't even know me.
Yeah.
That is dope as fuck.
Me, and I'm like, he's like, hey, I'm finna train my sons real quick. I'm calling you back in like 30 minutes. Hell yeah, nigga. Call me back. We chopped it up.
They got a fire show. All the smoke.
Oh, it's one of the best.
I love
That's one of the
that shit. One of the best shows out there.
Yeah.
And I like it because that bitch on Vice. And no, it's on Showtime.
Yeah, Showtime.
I think that's
he's in Shaw's world.
I think that's pretty fire because I want this bitch to be on Vice one day, like some late night 9 o'clock shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Raw Room, we able to be at the level we doing our thing on this bitch and just big chilling and shit. But you get that vibe, you get to see it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's just a presentation. But I just like Vice because they won't tell me to stop talking like me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, they let Steven Jackson talk like Steven Jackson.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? I do like that.
That's what I'm saying. Showtime is just
very raw.
that's like HBO or some shit. Basically, just let you do what you do. But this, I got a question for you. What the fuck is up with the PB and chili shit? I'm tired of seeing that shit, and because you
peanut
posted
butter
about
and jelly
that shit
sandwiches.
yesterday or 2 days ago.
A few days ago.
What the fuck?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich or peanut butter sandwiches.
Just peanut
dipped in
butter.
chili. Grew up on it.
What do you mean? Wait, what?
Say it again.
Peanut butter sandwiches dipped in chili.
Yeah, he said peanut butter.
A peanut butter sandwich.
A peanut
Bread
butter
and
sandwich.
peanut butter food.
Bread
And
and
you
peanut
dip
butter.
it in chili.
And you dip that thing in chili,
Some
and
chili.
it sings to you.
Now, if that bitch, I don't know who it's singing like.
Listen, people. When I went to Nebraska, when I went to Nebraska and talked about it, everybody thought I was crazy, except for some of the Missouri guys who were on the team. It must be like a Missouri thing, but now I see I saw people reacting to it. I don't know where it comes from, but
that's
grew
a
up
North
on
County high school shit. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had it every Thursday. It was chili and peanut butter sandwich.
Y'all had to at school for real?
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like just at my family. Like we just
that's
ate
a
it.
community
It's like
thing.
that was like a community. You dip peanut butter and honey. It'd be peanut butter mixed with honey on a sandwich, and you dip it in chili.
I see where we're going with this. So that's like Memphis and barbecue. You know, Kansas City and they barbecue.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're not dipping your ribs.
No, not it. Well, you got St. Louis style barbecue, St. Louis style ribs.
Yeah.
Obviously, Memphis is Memphis and Kansas City is Kansas City. Like
Texas,
St. Louis has a small place somewhere, but yeah, it was like something like I just grew up on. So when people thought I was crazy, I was like, I kind of feel stupid. I thought everybody knew about this type of thing. You know what I mean? When I went to Nebraska, they dip cinnamon rolls in their chili.
You told me that shit.
So I thought that was insane.
Animals.
I'm talking, animals, bro.
Nigga.
I'm talking, they have chili events. People have their competitive chili, and at every chili one, they'd have a cinnamon roll sitting there with it. Oh, don't forget your cinnamon roll.
But they got icing on it too?
Yeah, some did, some don't. Like people have their different cinnamon rolls, but yeah, like a way of life to do chili in Nebraska. And when we did it with peanut butter sandwiches, people react kind of the same way. And but yeah, that's why I do the peanut butter sandwiches. Shout out Southern Missouri, baby.
That's insane.
Yo, bro, I've never heard of that in my
Every
fucking life,
Thursday,
dog.
I'm not joking. Every Thursday, you get your chili and peanut butter sandwiches. And people who didn't mess with it or didn't eat a lot, you know how it was in high school. Some people just wouldn't eat lunch, like trying to lose weight. You know, chicks would try not to eat lunch. You try to hustle whatever sandwiches you could, and chocolate milks, them little Prairie Farm chocolate milks.
Oh, hell
You try to hustle them up. You'd have about 6 chocolate milks, 3 peanut butter sandwiches, and chili just sitting there, and you have the best Thursday, and you back downhill from here, baby. We out lunch on Thursday, Fridays tomorrow, we're on the weekend.
What?
Whose house we staying up all night at? You can't stay at mine, my parents are home.
Nah, in North County, bro, you play receiver, and you was like, didn't you say you you Mr. Football?
Don't disrespect.
I'm asking a question. All state, sorry.
I was all state
top
receiver.
5 too.
All state wide receiver in
top 5 in the country. I mean, in the state.
Yeah, top 5 in Missouri. Top 5. I was an athlete on Rivals.
Yo,
Don't sleep on the kid now.
How many stars?
What? Why you didn't go? Well, you had Notre Dame.
I struggle saying 4 stars.
Why you struggle saying 4? That's
you was a 4
because I wasn't a draft pick. There's this weird battle in my head that I was a 4-star since I wasn't a draft pick that I kind of
because that actually plays in
high school, right? But then I go back and play a year, so
shit. That shit plays into it. Like people, like they look at that shit.
Oh, when they're drafting,
they like.
No,
I just heard. Okay, I don't know it for sure. I say I heard that they like, oh yeah, he was a 4 and 5 star, and then he was decent or below average in college, but.
If you're like a high round draft pick, they probably look. I mean, they study you since probably middle school. Like they played in high level sport for. They probably look at the area you played in and stuff
Absolutely,
like that.
Like competition.
Because I was like a big fish in a small pond. Like we didn't have a whole lot coming out of Missouri that year.
Like he gonna get a statue in his hometown one day.
I was 850 yards, 18 tugs.
Ooh, hey, hold on. The 18 tugs though is what's
18 tugs. Hold on, wait, that's it. But my stats way harder than that.
18 tugs is a wide receiver,
18
bro?
receiving tugs is pretty. I'll give that.
Oh,
18 receiving tugs, 19.
Okay,
But because I thought that's what I figured you meant.
And that's all off receiver.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
You know, over 300 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns.
But then you ain't
once I sat the whole second half. No, you know. Shout out North Carolina.
You win any state championships?
Big Willie style.
You win any state championships?
Huh?
Y'all ain't win no state championship?
No.
We went to Division 2?
4 out of 6.
Oh, for real? 4?
Yeah.
Okay, that ain't bad at all.
Yeah. We were good up until we weren't good my senior year. We were trash my senior year. Actually, we had changed head coaches and we were trash.
Oh, yeah,
There's really no other way to put it. We got to the quarterfinals my sophomore year. We got to the quarter, but that was probably the farthest we went. Yep. Yeah, bro. Montero. Everybody joked on me in college. They call it all street. They didn't call it like all state. Hey, where'd you play at, Missouri? They'd be like, oh, all street. You was playing on the road. You was playing.
That's
but how they gonna talk? Nigga, that's Nebraska ain't shit up there.
Yeah, it's like what 8-man football. What is it?
Yeah, they had 8-man football, 7, whatever the fuck it is.
Nebraska's like a melting pot of like Texas, California. Like Nebraska's, if they're gonna be good, you gotta recruit all the other states. It's
why
not
the
Nebraska.
fuck? What made you pick Nebraska over Notre Dame? You had Illinois, Mizzou.
Yeah.
I know. You know what I'm saying? I know you and Blaine was about to go to Mizzou.
Blaine and I were committed
Y'all
to
both
Nebraska.
Committed.
He left and went to Mizzou.
That's what it was.
What year did you go into college? Just so I can get
2008.
2008. Okay.
Same year.
No,
we were 09.
We 09.
Yeah.
You was the year before.
That's right, because I was redshirt.
And then you got redshirt, yeah.
We had Blaine. We had a number 5 recruiting class in the country.
Yeah.
Bill Callahan was our head coach. And Nebraska was trash that year. A lot of dudes decommitted. We fell to like 25. I stayed strong and stayed with Nebraska. But ultimately, the coaching staff, Bo Pelini and that staff there, I was going to go to, I wanted to go to Notre Dame. If Notre Dame had offered me.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was
if
like,
Notre Dame had offered me early like everybody else did,
they did late.
I would be in Notre Dame. I would have been Fighting Irish on the spot. I went to 2 camps for Notre Dame. You know, I grew up watching Notre Dame. Like, I wanted to be Notre Dame. Like I said, go to their camps. Charlie Weiss driving around, watching me on a golf cart, and they ain't offer me until dudes didn't commit on the Army game. So that they were that late in the process. And they wanted me to play fullback at first. They wanted me to play fullback because they had linebackers committed, and they're like, if you didn't work out fullback, we can look at you at linebacker. And by that time, I'd already gotten down to like Mizzou, Illinois, Nebraska, like staying around home because Mizzou was 5 that year. They had Jeremy Macklin, Chase Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that year.
Illinois had Juice.
Yep.
And Rashad Mendenhall.
Mm-hmm.
Beast.
They played USC in the Rose Bowl. So
that just happened. I remember
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Mizzou was hot, Illinois was hot, and Nebraska was they were hot but falling off. Like I was down to them, and then Notre Dame had offered super late after I spent 2 years going to their camps trying to get offered. And that was back when Texan happened. I mean, I hated it. It pissed me off that they didn't offer me. But by the time that they came into the picture, I was more so just saying that or whatever, just to like talk about Notre Dame. But I was going to go to probably Mizzou. And before I had committed, Bo calls me. It was like, Comp, before you make your decision next week, could you do me one last favor? And it was kind of like a courtesy yes type of thing. Like, what else could happen? It's Friday. It was Friday.
You ain't got no job.
And yeah. And by the time you know how it is a recruiter, you're kind of over. You're over the in-home visits. You're over all that shit because you don't get to go to the basketball games. Like, people are trying to take up all your. People are taking up like, you have to be at home all the time, sitting here and listening to the college coaches pitch all this stuff. And Bo's like, I just got done at my mom's school. Mizzou was visiting my mom's school that day. And it was kind of like, I'm basically going to go to Mizzou. Bo calls me on my way home. He doesn't know that Mizzou is just at my mom's school and basically put the cherry on top. Mm-hmm. And he's like, let me do one last favor before you make a decision. I was like, all right, what's up? And he was like, I want to fly my defensive staff down to watch the championship games with you on Sunday. I was like, motherfucker. Like, he done found a way to take up an evening. Like a team found a way, like there's something else that got squeezed in on me. Yeah. I just said yes. And I was like, all right, yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm thinking, damn, like, well, at least I'll be able to watch the championship games and stuff. I was probably going to do it at the house anyway. Because, you want to go to a buddy's house or something like that. Yeah. I was like, all right, that's cool. Like, I'll do that, blah, blah. And fast forward to the day of the game Sunday, defensive staff flies in, little ass airport. They fly in, they take a busted minivan over to the house. And they walked into the house, bro. We had the greatest time ever that night. They walked out, and I was like, I don't know why I thought I wanted to go anywhere different. Like, I want to play for those guys. And that's pretty much what happened. I mean, it was one of those things where you're watching the game. I'm sitting there with the defensive coach on the couch talking about something on the iPhone that had just came out because the iPhone had just came out. And, my girlfriend at the time and my brother's in the kitchen talking with coaches about something else. My parents are talking over in another room to another coach. Like everyone's just vibing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just having a great time. And the linebacker coach at the time put a Compton tattoo on his arm and was like, I want to show you something just to show how committed we are to you. He lifts up his sleeves and got one of those temporary 3-month style tattoos that looked real. And he had a black shirt put on there and Compton over the top. Acting wild about it.
That's why I can't.
On Varsity Blues, dog. Look what we did.
Yeah. Hey, that's my thing with recruiting though in college. Like they do all that shit and you get there your freshman year and it's like, that shit never happened.
Never happened.
The same coach
Rape talks about it
that
at Ohio
recruit you, that
State.
nigga will walk right past you in the hallway. What's up, coach?
Yeah. Rape talks like when you get them on campus, you got to do all that recruiting fluffing up. You see how it is now. It's even crazier now.
Yeah.
But Rape's like, the moment they get on campus, you got to de-recruit them. Like you got to start de-recruiting because they're all fluff. They all think they should be playing. They're all entitled to, I was this,
well,
I was
you
that.
just
blah, blah,
titled
blah.
their ass. I mean,
Yeah, damn, man.
Like, why not playing? You just had a tattoo of me on your arm. Well, what's the deal? Red shirt, the fuck?
That's right. So you got to that bitch and you red shirt your freshman year. Nah, this one, you told me this story when you got to, with that, I don't know, red shirt freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And starting linebacker that was in front of you, buddy got hurt the week before.
No, this was my redshirt sophomore year. This was my third year.
Oh, so it's your third year.
Levante David comes.
He comes in from JUCO.
From JUCO. He was like number one in the nation JUCO wise. But he was coming in good dude, awesome dude.
Yeah, so you still ain't sweating it, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. You're not sweating it. You just played your redshirt freshman year. You made like an all freshman team on Phil.
I know you're talking about because
Phil Steele, one of his all freshman team.
Yeah, nigga, I don't know that bitch. All freshman, all American nigga. That was
Big 12 all freshman team. Phil Steele's freshman team. Like you kind of
Google that shit all the time. Let's see where I met him.
And I'm going into my redshirt sophomore year, and it was me and Sean Fisher. We had started in like base or nickel, whatever you want to call it. Me, him, and Zoe Whaley started in base. And then in nickel, it was me and Sean Fisher. Then in dime, it was Sean Fisher and then me. Yeah. And then Levante. Levante's working with the 3s and 4s. Like he's working on the second field.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he's not even getting
reps. You got all that. You know how it is. Like you get there and they're not even getting real reps. Like they're just trying to develop them for the next year or whatever. Because Sean and I were both like good freshmen. Like, they were talking about like us, shit like that. And so we were going into this redshirt sophomore year, right? Well, we're in training camp and we're probably 2 weeks out of the opener. And Sean and I are competing and he's kind of edging me out and it's like frustrating. It's like, damn, because in Big 12 spread a lot. So we're in a lot of dime. Yeah. So he'll be getting a lot more PT than everybody else. So 2 weeks like before the season opener, Sean Fisher, you know how it gets. Offense, defense, everybody starts hitting each other too much in training camp. It's like offense versus defense. Everybody's mouthing, talking hella shit. Niles Paul, who was on the Redskins for a while, tight end, played on the Jags, Redskins, a while, played like 8 years. He cracks Dijon Gomes or nickel at the time. He played a little bit in the league too. Cracks him into Sean Fisher. Sean breaks his leg. Ooh. Cracks him. It's like, yo, he had to get carted off because he had shattered his fucking leg. And it's kind of like, why are we cracking our own teammates? Like we're 2 weeks out of the game type of thing. So I get elevated the ones. Levante comes from the second field now, a different field. Now he's working in with like the 2s and getting reps with Zoe Whaley with the 2s and stuff and figuring out who can be a backup. And Vontae was flashing Boogie. It was his nickname. Boogie was flashing like he was doing some stuff. It's like, oh, he can play. Because he was like number one at JUCO coming out. And Thursday before the game on Saturday, we're doing, whether you want to call it light jog, up tempo, walk through, it's helmet day. Yeah. And I'm out there covering just a regular ass stick route, bro, a bullets route. And I plant on my foot and my foot just explodes. I break my foot. Just planting on a stick route. Just finishing up game plan. Just finishing up game planning, bro. And I break my foot and, I'm kind of like, you're kind of like jogging around. You're like, fuck. Yeah. I think I just kind of like tweaked my ankle or something. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, can we, tape it, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking like, fuck, man, like roll my ankle, the opener, like we're about to play. We're about to be out there. And I tape and stuff and I stand up and I'm like, oh my God. I start to like limp even harder. Like, hey, you think you're going to be
That shit making
yeah, like, you
worse.
think you're going to be straight. So like, yeah, I should just be able to jog it off or walk it off. And it just keeps getting worse. And I start to kind of, can you go on the next play? Like, yeah, I'll go on the next play. Do another play, and I kind of sit there and I tell my linebacker coach, I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting to where I can't walk. Yeah. Like something happened. And I'm living there. He's like, just go inside and like, hey, let's go in and get him X-rays and stuff. And I start to walk back to the training room and I'm talking, I need help getting back to the training room type of thing. I don't even know what's going on. X-ray, break my foot, break my fifth metatarsal, got to get a pin put in, tears, the works, all like son of a bitch. No, it was like a 9-week process. And even when I come back, I'm playing with a metal plate on.
That season.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it was 9 weeks. I put a plate on my foot and stuff. And yeah, I'm basically out for the season because by the time I came back, job wasn't there anymore.
Levante ain't let that bitch go.
Hey, Saturday happens.
Now he's a Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, Saturday happens. Memorial Stadium. Levante's out there not really knowing what he's doing. 13 tackles. I'm talking KOing motherfuckers.
That's when you like
sit up, throwing the bones.
That's like one of the best times to play too, though.
And he's got thrown the bones. That's like his first game.
That's one of the best times to play when it's like, man, they know like, man, we had to just throw him in there. I mean, he
don't even know what he's doing yet.
So we can't even get mad at him for real. It's like,
yeah.
So he's just balling. It's
so
just
he like, even though it might be closed left, that nigga might not even close that bitch, but he just got a TFL. He just running. And because he didn't have to worry about, damn, which round closed. That nigga just forgot.
And just ran.
And just was like
hitting people.
He was just already hitting, just took the fuck out like.
And I'm up in the press box.
That's a good
I'm up in the press box in my scooter, looking like Professor X up there, like happy for him. But like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit a Buffalo Wild Wings button to trip his ass or something. Like, damn it, he's balling. Like, I ain't gonna get to play.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. My boy says he's up there.
Yes.
It's just like,
fucking broken foot and shit. Sean's up there in his cast. I'm up there in my fucking cast. Like, damn it, man.
You're trying to make him fall with this
mind. Like watching him like,
get his ass.
Like you're pumped for him because that's your boy.
Yeah.
And, it's in the room. It's a linebacker.
And watch somebody win like that. Yeah.
And but at the same time, like the dude who's behind you that's playing good. And I was out for like 8 weeks and he continues to obviously get better. I mean, he's like the most underrated player in the last decade on defense in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But he is what he is now. And I just always like, man, wasn't that shit crazy? Like he would have probably played the next year and been still where he's at. You know what I'm saying? But he was top. I don't know. You could look it up, but I want to say top 5 in tackles in Nebraska history as a linebacker in 2 fucking years, bro.
What the fuck?
I'm talking he was a tackling machine. Like this dude is.
Like, so that basically you have to do double digits every game.
Yeah. He's 220. I mean, he averaged double digit. Like he was up there with Kuechly. He's up there with Kuechly in college.
Game, though.
You know how Kuechly was getting massive tackles in college?
Was ridiculous. Didn't he get like 200 one year?
Something like that. But Levante was like every week you sit there and they're like getting hella tackles, bro.
I thought I was cold. I remember I had 130 one year. I look up. I think that was the same. Yeah, Kuechly had to be in the league. Or that must have been his last year. I had like 130. And he had like 200 something. I'm like, or like 190 something. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Bro, I got
like, how many?
I got to spot play and play all 4 years at Nebraska. And I'm 12th on the all-time Nebraska list, bro. I'm like, Levante's top 5 in 2 years.
That's crazy. That's how I feel about 4 years at Auburn. I'm only like 16.
That's 15. What I'm saying. That shit is crazy. At a story program like ours.
Yeah.
And I'm hyped. Like, I'm sure you're hyped. Like, I'm
all time.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, of all time in this story program.
This whole been here since slavery, bitch. And I'm the nigga that's on that bitch. Yeah. Fuck you, mean.
Hey, that's why, and you're just like, yo, I'm on this all-time list, and this man Levante is top 5 in 2 years.
God damn.
He was obviously second, went on to be a second-round pick, 220.
That's another crazy
220.
thing. That's another 220, but 215.
He's a monster, bro. I can't say enough good things about Levante David. That is my boy. He's extremely humble. I always tell him every year. He's not like on social like that. I'm like, let me run your shit, bro. Because you're not capitalizing right now, my boy. You're not capitalizing, my boy.
Commercials
do you
and shit.
Do you see me? Like, I ain't shit.
and I'm winning over here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, why you ain't never get tatted? Like, cause you know, a lot of white linebackers,
I
Pimp C,
know,
James
dude.
Lauren Knight is Chris Long. Even,
I
you
know, I see, and I notice. I'm like, damn, I would look cold, but
you
I
would
just
look
never,
fire, bro.
I,
Especially the one picture you got when you with the Redskins, like, you know what I'm saying, like you were sitting in the front or something. You had all white socks on. You took a little step. You were cut. You know what I'm saying? I was like, if you would have had tats, they would have looked at you like, oh, I got
like a
I
sleeve
gotta
or a
block this
half
white
sleeve
boy.
or
Yeah, I gotta-
something. Trust me, I know. I don't know. You know, I just never actually settled on something that I want
That you
to
wanna
have
rock
on the.
with.
Yeah, that I rock with forever.
Mhm.
You got tats?
No tats.
And it's kind of like since I didn't do it, and now not necessarily like it's not like I'd probably do it if I could go back and start it over. But now that I'm on the back end of my career, you know what I mean? I just be getting tatted. Like it looked like I'm going through some
fuck it.
middle-aged crisis or something like that. Hey, calm, man. Like, hey, it's over. There's no need to get a tat anymore. This shit ain't that big anymore. Oh, but nah, I've always like, if I would have, it would have been like a pec type of half sleeve thing.
That's what I always.
That's what I'm saying. It could be
Because
it-
especially now with like different things you kind of tie to, like the whole wolf stuff, like all this, like I could have probably found something, but
you
I just
definitely
never,
could've put
I
something
never
with
crossed the
wolf.
line to like just actually go get a tat because I could never settle with something. And now that I don't have anything, it's kind of like, you know, I either have to get a lot of shit done or nothing at all. Like I don't like the whole one-offs or a couple or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
It's either like look like DB or me and Poston. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You either go all in, like you ain't got a shirt on.
Since I
you
was
got chains in
17,
between
baby. Since I was 17, baby, getting tatted. This the first one. Me and my sister, my brother, we all got the same tat. And I told him my brother fault. Seen this ass walk in with that cross he had. I was like 8, 9. Man, I'm getting tatted, nigga.
Yeah.
And ever since then.
I was there for this one.
Oh yeah, that's, man,
Yeah, we
that was all
were young.
And
young
they
as
cost. You want to get something nice, they cost. And at the time, you know, you're trying to nickel and dime, you're trying to save what you can.
But
Yeah.
see, you know what I'm saying? We just was
And
good
you
at
see,
all,
you
bro.
see where my first like
Real
purchase was.
purchase.
That was
See, but that's what I'm
you gotta
saying.
put
See,
on your body.
But see, I did the same thing with my shit. But I'm saying, like, as far as tattoo, like, it's just like when you go to a restaurant or Chipotle or wherever, Moe's for me in college, like, you get to know the people every time you go. Same thing with tat people. Yeah, I went for the first 2. I might have paid for the first 2, but I ain't gonna pay for 3 for 4 after I throw you a little something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying for 5 and 6 just because now you can come to the game. Now I ain't got to pay for 7 and 8 just because we kick it hard. Now you from flying to me.
Yeah, no, there seems to be a hustle behind it. That I don't know that business side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So Whaley
yeah,
would do the same thing, trade some Nebraska stuff, and he'd be laying in the shop for hours. And me in
That's
my
what I would
mind,
do.
I'd just be like, man, I ain't just gonna go
take
lay
my
up and get some
practice jersey.
tat.
I would take the practice jersey because we got 5, 6. I would take a practice jersey, take that bitch, get it to the tat person.
That's what I'm saying. Like
And now they're turned up.
They turn because they didn't print out a picture. They want me to sign with that bitch.
some
They gonna
dudes,
frame it.
some dudes trading their rings that you get from bowl games. You know,
I ain't doing that.
yeah.
Not for no tat. Like if that's
For a
the,
tat?
you must gonna tap half my body at least. If
For
I'm
the-
paying
for
you
the-
a bowl,
The bowl ring?
I want you gonna just have to.
Or
tap.
I'm never paying for a tat. Like I'm always
For my
coming
life.
back.
Right, like they got connected, like the stuff he was just kind of
Yeah.
saying, like how it kind of evolved.
Man, that would never happen.
But yeah, I just never like wanted to go spend time and be, several hours and get a tat. And it seemed like the process that you got to go through, you got to have it covered up. You got to lotion it all the time. Like I barely even lotion as is. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel like that's the thing. The white people got a upper hand in. They don't got lotion. Like you don't get to see your ashiness.
true, but that don't mean you don't feel it.
No, that is bad.
Because you'll get a little
Feeling,
itchy
that
after the
is
shower. I'll be like, man,
rough.
I got to start putting some lotion
Oh,
on.
yeah, now you right. You right.
Like sometimes I'll like see like some of the crust and shit on my knees. Sometimes I'm like, I need to start taking. I need to take some from DB's playbook. Hey DB, let me get that cocoa butter.
Again with the racist comments.
Racists are accurate, man. That was the
I
cocoa
mixed it
butter.
with
We on the wrong
Vaseline.
road.
Oh, you a Vaseline dude?
I mix my shit with Vaseline a little bit, or like some baby
You,
oil.
Rashawn, he does coconut
This-
oil.
But this
He'll
nigga
just sit there and
Rashawn
wipe out the.
that
You-
bitch.
That shit
Yeah,
great.
or-
That's what my girl does. That shit's
I mean,
good.
but this nigga bathes in it.
Yeah, Rashawn, he ain't got no hair. He'll
He
just
ain't
sit there
got
and
no-
mopping
he
that whole thing around.
This nigga like a turkey or something. Nigga just putting oil in it. I'm like, God damn, my boy. Hey, so I don't know if the people saw one of another great Vrabel moments when I had hurt my hip or some shit. And we thought it would be funny, like, oh, cause we had this neck brace. Everybody, we had the neck
Yeah.
brace, and if you just do some soft ass shit, You have to wear a yellow jersey to practice. Or Jayon, oh, my finger hurt. I can't do Jayon, here, put this brace on, you a bitch. You know
right, you do some soft shit, like you got to wear the neck brace.
You got to wear the neck, even though there's nothing wrong with your neck, obviously.
But that's live.
DB was talking about his hip. One time it was his ankle or his foot. Like, my man milks his Wednesdays sometimes.
No, that's
your hip was real. Once I learned a little more about your hip, I was like, you might have something fucked up.
That shit was real.
But his foot, like, my man's out there milking some Wednesdays.
No, it was like one of them ankle sprains. You know how I had an ankle sprain in 2019, real bad one, against the Jaguars. Okay. I was playing fullback, and this nigga
fullback.
I want y'all to know how versatile I am. Shout out to you, Arthur Smith. I was playing fullback. I wasn't leading because it was a split play, but I was going away, and this nigga Calais Campbell stepped on my fucking ankle, bro. That's 300-something pounds. Nigga just stepped on while I'm blocking somebody else. And that same pain literally went through the whole 2019 season and started back up 2020. I can't explain it to you no more.
Yeah, it just means you wasn't doing nothing in the off season.
Yes, I was resting it.
Boxing.
Nigga, I was out there been kicking shit. I'm over here all type of MMA fucking drop kicking the nigga and shit. Ankle was fine then.
Well, Wednesdays is when you got the pads and stuff on. You gotta move around a little bit more. No one, you're still kind of feeling some residual from the game. Like, you're not actually wanting to go out there and tattoo people. Let's say, hey, we're in the season now.
We're week 13.
So DB, he'll be out there,
week 13.
limping. Like, I'm telling you, my man looked like he broke his foot.
Jim was like, you moving like me.
Jim's like, you moving like, hey, man, my foot. And I'm just thinking, God damn. So, I gotta pick up the pace.
He gotta pick it up.
I gotta go out there now on the scout team. Like, hey, seems like his foot, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking in my head, this motherfucker.
He gotta do all the reps.
That's so great.
So then when he got out of practice the first time for his hip, he was missing practice and ain't saying nothing until we were actually going out to practice.
Because they'd be like, hey, look, so I'm practicing today. And like, so special team coach, like, base might not practice today. I'm like, God, come on, bro. Y'all know I ain't finna do that. I'm practicing. Come on, bro. Knowing in my head. We'd be up, especially since Bates ain't going today, and I just kind of like turn my head slowly, like, what? What's wrong with you? I just be looking straight ahead like this.
Yeah.
Listen, please, can you stop talking to me? Y'all taking me
I'm really listening right now.
Yeah. What's wrong with you? Talk about my hip. Be like, oh, you motherfucker, dude. And so then it's like, no, you're gonna go out because you gotta basically go in the training room. No, you gotta go out for walkthrough and wear the yellow jersey.
And the neck brace. I ain't wear the yellow jersey.
You didn't wear the yellow jersey?
I wore the neck brace.
Yeah.
And when I walked out with that neck brace on,
bro, everyone's clowning, or wondering what's happening.
Everybody wondering what's happening. Like, John Robinson was like, what the fuck is wrong with Bates' neck? The fuck? He's taking
J-Rob got mad at Todd in the hallway. Like, he didn't disclose some neck thing that DB had. He's like, y'all got me in trouble. Oh, we was joking. Like, that's just like what you got to do. You do some soft stuff. Like, hey, wear the neck brace.
Yeah.
Or say some soft stuff.
And J-Rod was hot because I saw him like after practice. I was like, hey, we got you. Just kept on moving. And he was hot.
He was like, bro, I thought you were fucking dead, man.
And then,
I was laughing in his ass.
And then like we would have fun on social media with different stuff.
Yeah. We would start posting a lot more.
AJ
started the TikTok shit, so we were.
Yeah, we was posting a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And when you were like, does Bussin ever get in trouble? It's not necessarily Bussin, it's more so if I might do something on social. They're like, hey, what are you doing? And we had did the haircut thing. When I had my haircut, and DB posted his picture, like, how do you continue to build momentum? He's like, I want to do this with you. When you get at your locker, we're gonna make it seem like we're all clowning on you. When he kind of had my head pressed back and somebody's flipping me off, everybody's kind of making fun of me for having the haircut. Like, what is this type of thing? And playing off that, he had that idea. We did that, posted that stuff. The next week was when he was hurt, and I was like, now we're gonna take a video. Take a video now of you putting on the yellow jersey. I put your yellow jersey on. Like,
and he told that bitch to me. I'm over here like, what the fuck? Come on, bro.
Yeah, talking about your hip. You got that back blown out. I was like, throw that neck.
Shit had the whole room laughing though. I ain't gonna lie, because he played that shit in the front of the whole team.
Hey, yeah, he did too. I threw the neck brace at him, kind of like just disrespectful. It kind of hits him in the face. I put the neck brace on too. But later that night, I'm sitting there. We had posted it. I'm like, he knew the whole bit. Like, we put it together.
Yeah,
we produced it. Right? We directed and produced that little video. And I told Nick, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I should post this because I'm just wondering if Vrab might get mad that, this is like an injury thing, right? And I want to say, well, I won't continue to say his name because I don't want to throw him under the bus. But he's like, oh, no, that won't matter. He won't get mad at that. Like, it's fun. Like, it's funny. Like, yeah, you're right. So send, tweet. And that night, I'm watching one of my shows. I want to say it was Peaky Blinders. Had a car. I was in the middle of a car wreck. And Vrab texts me. And he's like, you think it was smart? You think it was smart putting this out there? Or he said like, putting people's injuries out on social media. I see. I thought I had covered this. Apparently I need to go over the rules again. And me, I'm stressing.
He texts me like, didn't you say it was okay? I'm like, I was all laughing. Like,
bro, I'm texting trying to FaceTime DB. He ain't answering.
I
gotta pick up my feet.
Because I was asleep when I saw it the next morning. I'm laughing like, relax.
We good, baby.
Yeah, because it's at like 10 at night. It's at like 10 at night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got anxiety now. I'm like, oh, fuck. Text Ray back like, I cleared it with DB. He said I could post it. I thought it was cool if that person, because Vrab's whole thing is like, it can come from the player.
Yeah.
Like if you want to put your business out there, that's on you.
Mm.
But nobody should talk about others' injuries type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I cleared with DB. He said I could, this was all planned. I thought it was all good. Like, I'm sitting there trying to say whatever.
Yeah, like, we were just playing.
Yeah, God damn it, I'll delete it, God. Somebody probably already got it. Fast Nasty probably already tweeting about it. And he texts back, we'll let the team decide in the morning. And so then I was like, and so then I was like, all right.
Like, bro, wait. Is this glad nigga? What is it? 300? Like, we gonna go kick this nigga off the fucking.
Yeah. I'm thinking in my head, it's like, okay, maybe he's more joking now. Like, maybe it sounds
like
good.
a fucking joke.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't know with Vrab.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it should be all good. Next morning I get him a DB. I'm like, hey man, he's gonna let the
like,
team decide. So you're gonna. He's like, nah, I'm gonna continue to double down on it. Basically, like he's like, make it funny. I'm like, all right, cool. So we get in there. My heart is pounding. Like I am nervous. Like anytime I'm like doing something and like I know I gotta go and. Like Vrab will refer, like, let's check on what our social media director's up to.
It's always
and I'm like,
weird,
I don't necessarily like that label or tag, but I kind of ride with it because it seems like dudes have fun with it and they like it or whatever. Now that I know some stuff's gotten laughed at and, because you never fucking know. You don't want to be that guy, but yeah, the next morning we're sitting there and he's like, we talk about not putting injuries. He's like, our social media director thought it was okay to put this and he puts it up there. And
he put the whole video up.
Yeah, he put the whole video. The whole video played, and it's going. And the time I put that on, it sounds like somebody blew your back.
Lost it.
Yeah, but I look at Vrab, and Vrab ain't laughing or nothing
at all. Straight face,
and
stone
I'm like,
cold.
Hopefully he opens it up. Like,
are you doing this? Are you laughing like this?
Yeah. It's like because people are 6 feet apart from you everywhere, so you can't feel anybody. You gotta look around. That's just funny, right? And Vrab ain't laughing at all.
Stay on face straight.
And he plays it. And basically kind of goes in on me about it, honestly. There was no open the floor up, let the team decide. It's like, if I heard that I'm the other team, I'm trying to spear him right in the hip.
He was saying that shit. We was like, it was like, Brady was like, stone him. We gonna get on his ass. We at Will neck. And it was just him.
Yeah, like DB
it
was like,
with the team. No, it was just.
You didn't know if it was going to be funny or not, but he must have went down a certain path, and there was just no funny. He just basically went in on it. He's like, end of discussion type of thing. I was like, oh shit. And then the meeting comes like, hey, the whole thing is, what'd you do now? Oh, bro.
It was so funny because Taylor and JR came to that meeting just because they knew that was going to happen.
Just because
they ain't been to team meetings at all because they've been hurt, rehabbing shit. So them niggas like, nah, I'm being.
Oh, no, I got to see that one.
Anytime there's a rumbling like, he's going to go in on Will, it's like, everybody's trying to see what it's going to be like. It's not the best image to necessarily have. No, but that shit, we had some good times, bro.
It works, though.
Fortunately, Vrab's like, he's like one of the fellas. He busts balls.
Absolutely.
He's a good, like, he knows how to joke and, he knows how to be tough on people and get a message across. So it's always like he does good balancing it all because, again, when you get certain texts from him, you're like, oh, shit. Or like if we're on Under the Hood and there'll be something on, you think it's good putting this and that. I kind of just give my whole thought process. So he doesn't think like, maybe he's just not thinking about what could come of it.
Yeah.
And something might be on there that we don't necessarily have. And I'll be like, I went through the second floor. I went to, talk to certain people about it. But, I'll make sure not to get you on your Peloton. And he's like, just don't get me on the Peloton. Then I know it's like, okay, thank God.
Well, we're good.
Bro, how the fuck did you get a signing bonus? For rookie year. You was a tryout, right?
No, I was a preferred free agent.
Oh, you was?
5,000.
I mean, nigga, I got nothing.
I don't know how I got nothing.
You can get breakfast in the morning, nigga, before you try out.
Yeah. How did I get that?
Yeah, I want to know because
I guess my agent.
I mean, my agent was a rookie in the game himself, so nigga, we both was rookies in that bitch. Nigga, they were like me and Ray was the only two that didn't get paid. Everybody else got like 5 and 10. I want to say
a lot
Cody
of
got like 20.
Somebody got 60 or 70. A majority was like 2,500.
See, yeah, I had a lot of people get 2,500.
A lot of these get 2,500.
Yeah,
I got 5,000. You're kind of trying to measure up who got certain sign-up bonuses, thinking like, okay,
yeah,
they're gonna keep me over them, but you realize that shit don't fucking matter
because that shit like $5.
$10 like a penny. Like.
Yeah, that's just here. Thanks for coming, motherfucker.
Yeah,
and that's why I like. Damn, y'all can't give me two bands.
Yeah,
give me 2 bands.
Like, you're a shitty undrafted guy. That's what we thought.
That's what we thought.
Here's your bus pass.
We are who you thought you were.
Yeah,
damn.
That's the tough part about being a undrafted free agent. That's why it's like anybody who makes it as an undrafted cat, like everyone who gets drafted, but lower round guys are kind of just in the similar role. They're going to get more of a look at undrafted guys.
They don't think that the people don't think that he was still drafted. It's like
once you're past kind of the fifth round,
you expendable.
You mixed in, you're expendable pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Your first 3 rounds, you're getting a year.
Oh yeah, and
fourth round, like you're getting more of a look than everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
First round, you're buying 2 years probably, or 1 year.
First year, you're buying 2 years.
First round, you're probably buying 2 years.
Unless you're doing
panda type stuff.
Then you're gonna be put.
You never know, huh?
Then you're gonna get put in the zoo.
That did not come out of my mouth.
We're surprised.
But was
hey, what the fuck? But yeah, first round you usually buy a couple of years. Yeah. Second round you're buying a year no matter what.
Second round, you getting
You should be playing your contract. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you get first, second, third round. You should be playing your whole rookie deal.
Absolutely.
But no matter what, whether you're shitty or not, you're buying a year or two.
Do you ever go back and look at that list of linebackers from that 2013 class and be like,
all the time, yeah.
My motherfuckers don't know shit.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
I mean, our year, we still got some dudes still in there.
No, absolutely. It's gonna be there. Like it's still motherfuckers for 2011. You know what I'm saying? They're on their way out. You know
but outplaying dudes, like, yeah, it definitely makes you feel good.
Especially motherfuckers, you saw their first rounders or second round, now whatever the fuck they were. Like, no disrespect to them, it's just like, it's to the scouts. I be looking at like shit like that, or whoever the other people that you don't get to see, they get to pick and say, oh, this person, that person, that person.
Right.
It's like, damn, you see all these names that's in red that ain't here no more, crossed out. Like,
there's definitely like pride in like, just kind of seeing
pride,
the whole
what you mean, like,
journey of it.
Absolutely. I don't give a fuck if I probably got like 200, but maybe not even that, 100 defenses now, 150 maybe in 8 years. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because I've been in this bitch 8 years and I still get to go on that bitch in defense, even though that time LaShawn McCoy spent the fuck out of my ass and crossed the whole defense up. On that third down, I was sad as hell. Remember in Buffalo, 2018? Yeah. I was so sad. But it really wasn't my fault because Nick fucked up too.
So sad.
I was so sad. I was like, I lost the game, but I mean, he did shake 6 other niggas too, so not my fault too much.
Yeah, you don't feel all the way back.
But it's still like, man, I'm still in this bitch. Still got a chance to keep on going, you know what I'm saying? If another team, organization allowed me to, but it's like, how the fuck can you tell me I ain't that nigga?
Well, you just look at the beginning too. It's like when you're undrafted, like you're climbing and up. You're just climbing and up
the hole for a long time.
You're at the bottom of every depth chart. You're
and
not.
Even
you're not
if you
legit
do play like
chances.
you still not looked at like
right. You're never gonna get out of that buck.
You still gonna he undrafted though.
Right. You don't have the pedigree at all that like carries you, blah, 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 unless you just play extremely above and beyond. But like being an undrafted cat, it's like if you work out, the scouting department or whatever can be like, oh, you know, I found that. That's the diamond in the rough or something like that. Like, oh yeah, we did that. We did that. You know what I mean? It works out. It's like great. But if it doesn't, you are who we thought you were. Like, go on. Like there's no ties to an undrafted cat.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you're out there
definitely
grinding, trying to be seen. You know what I mean? Like
seen. And I was off a tryout, bro. So I literally had just
that's incredible.
Rookie mini camp time. That was it.
Right.
And then I feel like they signed me just because they was like, all right, you cool, we were good in that shit. Because I really was I feeding off of Ogletree for real. Because it was like SEC, you know what I'm saying? I already knew him. I was like, first round, I'm like, shit. That nigga gave me a little juice while I was out there, bitch. He already knew the playbook, obviously, first round, number 9 overall. So they probably gave him the playbook that night. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to this nigga room and shit. So doing that little weekend, I'm sure when they brought me back for training camp, I was, training camp body.
No question.
And I remember I got hurt in practice against Jared Cook, like a week before, like the week of the last preseason game. You know what we doing? That's when you get implementing the scout team stuff, and they often working week 1 plays and shit. That's when we start doing the 2 fields and all that shit. So we doing that, and they telling me, go do scout team. I'm thinking, just doing scout team, blah blah blah. I kind of got a little jammed up against Cook, and Reggie, the head trainer, I was trying to go back in. He was like, "Nah, you good." I was like, "Nah, fuck that. I gotta get back in this bitch. I still gotta do some shit."
Yeah.
He's like, "Nah, trust me, you good." I was like, "Oh, let me go lock and call my mama." And I'm talking about this.
Crazy,
this ain't even the last. This ain't even the last preseason game because we played Baltimore in that same game. This motherfucker BT balled the fuck out. That same game, I ended up playing the game too.
Yeah,
I balled out. I had a fumble recovery. This motherfucker had a pick, forced fumble. Motherfucker had like 10 tackles. All that safety. He had like 3 tackles on special teams. That's how he made Baltimore. It's like, and then we fucking around, play with each other in Oakland. It's like, this shit crazy. Undrafted. Motherfucker from Troy. Who the last nigga you heard come out of Troy?
Bro, I don't even.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
DeMarcus where?
The last motherfucker. That's 8 years ago. BT. That's the only motherfucker I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, since him. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying.
I don't know.
But, hey, Pro Bowl.
It's a crazy life,
crazy
bro.
Awesome, man.
It's a crazy life to
awesome.
like for me. I had led defensively in tackles in preseason. I wasn't good at all. I did because I didn't play special teams in college.
Me either. Never played it. I played probably like a hand 5, maybe.
You're a different animal than myself on special teams.
I never even tried to play special teams. Didn't want to. Why? I'm starting since a freshman.
That's what I'm saying.
Me.
And like it was more, I felt my way more on special teams at first. You know what I'm saying? And so I was on practice squad. So I got cut. It's like, we got good news, bad news, bad news. You're going to get cut. Good news is we're going to try to get you back on practice squad. Back when it was 8 players. So I was
like,
not 16 on practice squad anymore. I'm talking linebacker, fullback.
That's you doing
full
all
coverage on special teams.
Well, actually, no, they still do it at Titan. Like Kareem, he still play receiver, running back. He still play DB.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was way more because I used to do the same thing. We used to rush the edge, play linebacker, play safety, nigga, play running back.
Awful.
I do horrible. No, actually, it used to be fun for me because it was like young legs, and I didn't play like on Sundays. I'm only playing 20 snaps, and it's a track meet for us because it's the Rams, baby. We ain't scoring too many tugs. We punting a lot. So it's a lot of kickoffs. It's a few of those. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We just straight line running the whole time. No field goal, none of that. Because we ain't scoring points, baby. Yeah. We straight punt, kickoff, return. That's all it was. So we got coded those 2 things, and that's all we were doing. So it's like, I'm just finna run around these people. I know Jake Long, he hated me and Ray Ray. Because we were lined up at defensive end and just fucking. He was like, that's not real. We know, but I don't give a fuck. Fresh legs, baby. I'm 22 out here, baby. You is not finna catch me. Yeah. Yeah, that shit was fun for me. I played running back, then get to go play safety again, because you know I love that safety. Come on, bro.
You were safety in
I thought I was going to come back to the Rams. When I came to the Rams, bro, they signed me. Come in that bitch. I'm like, I had dropped weight to, I was like 210, but I had dropped like 203, 204, cut. Like, well, I'm going back to safety. Walk in that locker. First of all, I had a locker mate, nigga, that's 2-1. You know that shit? That's how you know I was try out, nigga. You would get to share a locker.
Yeah. I was sharing
a locker.
Training camp, I was 46, the same number as Alfred Morris. Pro Bowl running back.
That's how you know you fucked.
He was a Pro Bowl running back.
That's how you know before. You right there.
And I was like, I ain't making the team.
I ain't making the team. You can't do this in the NFL.
I had like a mentor.
I
I had like a mentor, and I was telling him, I'm like, there's 31 other teams that I can try out
for. I walk into the locker room, bro, and I see 51. I'm like,
that's a solid number, though.
No, I know it's a great number, but not when I'm thinking I'm going to go back to safety. Now I'm 204.
Yeah. Yeah,
in
no
the
doubt,
NFL,
no doubt.
God damn.
46 looking poo out there. Alfred Morris. I do 2 rookie mini camps.
Yeah, I remember you told me. That's the worst.
Because I was practice squad my whole first year, so I didn't get like an eligibility year. You're still eligible to do a rookie mini camp the next year. We go through OTAs, rookie mini camps like in the middle of OTAs because that's just when the draft happens and all that. And I remember Coach KO, Haz was his D coordinator at the time. Mm-hmm. They came up to me and was like, hey, you're still eligible to do rookie minicamp this year. And I was like, oh, motherfucker, dude. And they're like, KO was like, I know you hate it, but it'll be good for you because, we didn't draft a linebacker. We can put a lot of attention on you. We only drafted a couple defensive guys. So it's going to be good for you to get a good look. Which, in hindsight, it was probably pretty pivotal for me. Yeah. Because I'm out there, communicating, doing all this stuff, know everything, playing well, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Haz comes up to me. He's like, you can make this team, right? And I'm thinking in my head, like, I know, like, if I just had more opportunity.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can make this team, right? I was like, yeah, yes, sir. Studious. Like, yes, sir, I know. So, you just got to keep doing X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Because Haz was our coordinator. He's our linebacker coach now at Tennessee. And I had the same thing. I go through preseason again, just grinding in camp, bro. And you're just not sure what kind of, for what's going to happen. Because I just played practice squad for 16 weeks last year. Mm-hmm. Got active on the 17th week, but that was, I just stood on the sideline basically. And so you're just nervous as hell going through it again. In that 4th game, it's kind of similar situation. Starters get the off time. We're playing a lot off the whole game, blah, blah, blah. I had missed a couple tackles the opening drive. Playing nervous. We were down in Tampa. I come over the sideline, Haz sits me down. He's like, hey, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'll be straight. Like, just like, I got nervous. Like, got jitters going on, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to be straight. He's like, settle down. Hey, you're making the team. It's fine. You made the team. Like, just go out there and play.
Your ass the fuck
up. Then, rest, I made the team outright. Got to start 5 games that year. And then the next year was when I took over and played. That was when we had the playoff run. Mm-hmm. Then started and the stuff the next year outright. And then the final 5th year on the Redskins, and then, came the Titans. But that undrafted life, bro.
That shit really
is not for the
weak heart.
Weak heart, bro.
Yeah. At all. It's not for no.
It's just a grind, man. Like, you got to do everything. And it's out, in the heat, blah, blah, blah. Obviously,
and then it also
it's hard work,
plays in, like, where you at? Like, where you going? I feel like I got blessed to go to the Rams because at the time we was the youngest team in the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing but 23. The oldest nigga was like Chris Long, and he was like 27.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You just don't know. And the way you, like, practice squad, like, I was fortunate. Fortunately, I got to stick around the Redskins the whole year.
Yeah.
Practice squad, you know how it is. It's a revolving door. Guys are in and out all the time. Like, you'd be a practice squad here, practice squad there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're kind of living in your suitcase a little bit. So I was fortunate to be able to, stick on with the Redskins, have that second rookie mini camp, even though I hated
locked
it.
up right there. I know that.
What's that? Oh, is that the...
just dumbass, your one-on-ones, one-on-ones is weak as fuck.
Yeah.
Because I hate when fans be at training camp and be like, whoa, wow. Like,
yeah.
He has the entire field.
Yeah.
Like, God, I have no help.
Right. Oh,
I have no help. It's a one-on-one.
It's like Madden out there.
If I'm to the inside of him, he's going to go outside. Yeah. All he got to do is that. He's literally open, bro.
Yeah.
Like, relax.
That time frame was definitely like my favorite little stint of, like, my football career, I would say.
Because you feel, I feel like, does that feel like awesome, being able, starting and coming back, like you went through sitting on, you coming from Nebraska where you balling, like you a known name up there as a linebacker, as a player, you know what I'm saying? Then you go to your rookie year, now you practice squad. Then you go to your second year, you know what I'm saying? You work in the thing. Now, does it feel like when you got around the fellas, like they fuck with you more, like you had a little more respect?
Yeah, for sure. Just because, like, I mean, you know how it is when you're like coming from the bottom, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you just got to grind so much, like, differently. And I'm not saying, like, I'm sitting there first in the weight room, always in the weight room, shit like
it's
that.
It's just a different type of grind. Yeah. This is different from what first rounders or hard.
Yeah, and, like, just being in the studies and, like, understanding everything. And, like, I felt like that kind of stuff stood out. So by the time I was playing and doing stuff, guys were like, oh, damn, Comp can get this thing going.
Yeah.
And it's more of like veterans. You had like Uncle Jason Hatcher, Kedrick Golston. A lot of these dudes, Deshaun Golston, a bunch of dudes, right? That are sitting there kind of telling you to take over the huddle, doing all these things, kind of mentoring you so they kind of feel like they have
That
some
shit
ownership
feel
in your
good,
upbringing
That shit
to
feel
where
good
you
to
just
hear.
feel like, you're part of the boys, you're part of the squad, and you're able to just kind of play more free because they all trust you. They know that where you've been and you're getting the opportunity. And then when you start making the most of your opportunity, people kind of like root for that. They're kind of like, yeah, the whole Rudy or fucking Rocky thing or just coming up from anything. People you just kind of have a little bit more of that respect. So definitely the best moment, and now that I'm talking about it, was being the starter and the captain the next year.
I knew it was. That's why
that
I
was
said
the greatest
I
feeling.
knew it was, motherfucker. You
Just
get to
because,
start from the state capital team, motherfucker. Like that was the time. That was just they were still was big. Like they trashed.
Oh, absolutely. And just knowing like you weren't a draft pick or you weren't somebody that the coaches are kind of putting out in front of the team like, hey, this should be our captain. Just to be like the defensive captain with D'Angelo Hall. It's just like, the best feeling like, hey, can you go to the head coach's office? And this is after training camp and stuff. And they kind of tell you, you're sitting there with D'Angelo Hall, Kirk Cousins, Trent Williams, Niles Paul is our special teams captain. You just feel like, this is like,
and your
just
teammates
all of
voted
it
for that
went
shit.
into it. Yeah, exactly.
And that's how I felt like when I got the captain. I'm like, that's for his speech, bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate all y'all niggas, man. Fuck with me, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt like, damn, y'all niggas really think I'm cold with this special team shit. We got a Pro Bowl punter. It's like, no, we want y'all both to be captain. I'm like, damn.
No doubt, bro. It's the best feeling. Like,
Especially when they
being
put that
voted on
C
by your
on that
peers and
shit.
It's the coolest fucking shit, bro.
That's why I hated that when Ray got to the Titans, nigga, you ain't get no seat, nigga. You're just a captain, bitch.
C was on before Ray was here?
Yeah, C was on before Ray was here.
It must be a New England thing.
Absolutely. And then when Ray got here, I'm like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? I got another captain, bet. Look at the jersey. Fuck. Hey, Joey, y'all forgot to put the patch on. Oh, no, Ray don't do that. All right, bro. I guess.
Yeah, all right. It is. That is like the best. That's definitely
Hell
the coolest moment,
because fuck, it's only 4 or 5 months on the field they got it on. So when people see you, like, oh, that means something.
Hell yeah.
Saying, your peers.
Your peers, that's what makes
you get that sheet of paper. Now, don't get it wrong. I vote for myself every time.
I always get too nervous. People are gonna know who did the voting, so I'm gonna be like,
I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna put names. I just put the numbers. So I put whoever 17 offense or 22 special teams 53 or /56, whichever year. See, now 56
David Long,
I ain't get
damn
a
it.
chance. I ain't get a chance.
David Long, damn it.
Goddamn, David and Kari, bro. My family already got my nigga. I got years of family having 53. Then fuck you think?
Yeah, it was just like, damn, bro. Like I've had 51 my entire career.
Bro, wasn't it crazy how Preston found that 53 jersey?
Yes. You talking about the Redskins one?
And that brings me to this next question. Your P game. We all have had one.
Oh, yeah. My rookie year? Yeah. I had a P game.
I know Jordan.
Jordan's got his flu game.
Jordan got the flu game. A lot of people got certain games that they played in. They were fighting some type of bug or injury. My nigga was fighting his bladder. In a whirlwind of 3/4 of fighting his bladder, and he lost.
Yeah, so New York, week 17. We're 3-12 on our way to 3-13.
Jets or Giants?
Giants.
Okay.
Didn't even matter.
In the Meadowlands.
In the
Meadowlands. I just want to know where it was. I was like, where am I?
My train, I miss it. I miss it. We used to have it on the bus. I miss it, bro. Hey, I miss that shit, dude.
This nigga was like, hey, bro, you know it's a train out there?
Hey, man, I don't know much about podcasting, but I know the little I do know is that can't be good.
Week 17. I was on practice squad for 16 weeks. I finally get called up week 17. Mind you, my linebacker coach, and they told me the week before on week 16 that they were going to bring me up that week. And, I'm calling my dad. I'm a little emotional about it. Like, we fucking did it. Like,
hell yeah.
I'm getting the call. I'm getting called up.
Yeah.
Redskins going to week 17 with 52 guys on the roster. Not 53. They didn't elevate me. Legit. They had 52 guys on the roster week 17. They didn't even bring nobody up. So they left my spot vacant. I got cheated out of $14,000 and I told my agent, I swore I was going to get it back on the back end somehow. Never got it.
Did.
Yeah. If I think about it, it's like, it works out because I got more than that contract.
Yeah.
Was your pops gonna come to that game too?
No. Because I wasn't, I played like
at least
10 snaps.
it would have been on TV though, just because it's.
Yeah, it was just dope. Like, so fast forward to week 17. I finally, okay, I'm going now. I'm traveling. I'm going. I'm playing. I'm gonna get one game active. The kid's getting on. I got to get on the stat sheet. My Wikipedia, 2013. You're gonna see Will Compton, 1 tackle, baby. I'm in the NFL history books for life.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Because that year, I'm like, if I only play 1 year, like, you know what? I'm gonna have to come to grips with it. Because it was a rough fucking year. Like being on practice squad, like, you know how the grind of all that shit is. Mentally, you're just like, you learn a little bit more about the business, and you're like, man, the NFL ain't what it's all hyped up to be, type of thing. But anyway, I'm like, I'm gonna get on the stat sheet. Like, I'm gonna play, blah blah blah. I was on punt team, or I was on kickoff and kickoff return. That was it. Kickoff return. That was it. I wasn't even on punt. And so I'm standing there in the game, and we're trash. We're garbage. Like, we're going in. It's London Fletcher's last game as a player. 17 years, the Iron Man of the NFL. I get to back him up. Like, I'm stoked that I get to back up London Fletcher. Gonna be a Hall of Famer. Just stoked that all this is happening. So we're playing the game, and one of the outside backers is like, hey, I'm taking this next punt off. Like, you play punt. Kind of takes himself out of the game, and like, you go in. That's how dysfunctional this team is.
That sounds dysfunctional, because that shit would not go on anywhere else I've been.
Never. And so I get to play on punt, nervous. First kickoff of the game, I get a shoelace tackle. I'm in the books, bro. But first quarter comes around, or second quarter. No, because we're in the second half, because I would have obviously pissed at halftime. But it's third quarter. Cold as shit. We're in the Meadowlands. We're in New York. It's December. And I'm standing there, and I have to go take a piss. Now, instead of like just being a grown man and taking
you can
a piss,
do this. You could have did this, because this same season, I'm pretty sure I pissed plenty of times on the sideline.
Like
cup or something else.
I've seen it where people guard up.
You can clearly take a. You can clearly in Nebraska, like, you can clearly take a piss. But I am so nervous about how anyone thinks. Like, I can't fuck up any opportunity, and I'm not going to be the guy that asks a coach, "Hey, coach, can I go? Can I go to the bathroom?" And they're like, "Man, this motherfucker don't know." He finally gets a chance, and he talking about taking a piss. We out here fucking losing. He wants to go to the bathroom. Yeah, like, cut his ass, type of thing. Like, all this shit's playing in my head. I'm kind of standing there, man, I really gotta fucking go. I kind of tell the team, I'm like, hey, if you gotta go piss, what do you do? He's like, what do you mean? You go take a piss back there. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna be up on one of these special teams. And they're like, man, I don't know.
Did you not look at the down and distance?
Nah, bro. I like. I'm thinking this. I'm flustered. Yeah. Like, I'm in my own head. I can get in my own head. You know that. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm gonna have to piss myself. Like, that's the only way. That's the only way I can do this. I'm just gonna have to pee myself.
There's a whole bunch of options.
Yeah, I've thought of myself. Okay, if I bring it up, I'm gonna get cut. He saw me go piss. I can't piss because I can't miss a special teams rep. And I ain't gonna be like, hey, where's Will at? Oh my God, running out there. It's cold anyway, spandex. It ain't showing like that. I'm a grower, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna have to piss myself. You know what I mean? Okay. So I stand there, and ball's going, and it was a good thing because I'm pissing myself, and I do have to go out there on fourth down, and I'm kind of in there in my jacket or whatever. I just start peeing. It didn't feel terrible. It's just kind of, you're just warm. Once it gets going and you kind of break the seal of holding it in, because your body's thinking you're not allowed to do this. Yeah. Like, your parents taught you this. Your parents taught you this when you were little. You got to hold until you get in front. Yeah. Like, your body can't function. Hey, it's okay. You can piss yourself.
We can break the rules.
Yeah, you can.
It's like you want to come out, but it's like, no, I'm not supposed to. No, it's okay. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah. You feel like Tom Hanks on the Green Mile. Like, come on, just you do it. You can do it. Yeah. Or my man in Zoolander, he's like, yeah, and he sticks his hands up. Yeah, hey, you can go this time now, man. It's all good. Just, you're thinking of
what color pants y'all had on?
The yellow, the gold. So you can, you can see it. But again, it was raining. It was wet. Oh, so you're all good. It's more of like, hey, I know people are around you, but you're safe. You got the jacket. You're safe down there, buddy. And so once you let it go, you're going. You're like, oh, this ain't bad.
It ain't bad. I did
mine.
You
finish the game. I'll tell you, take it off. You don't even really notice, but
You
that was my
smell.
pee game.
Nah, you smell that shit.
Yeah, depending, like, coffee. You smell some coffee.
That's
in
what
there.
I'm saying. That's,
Get some caffeine before the game a little bit.
it ain't the best.
I'm big on bringing a latte in before the game.
This
yeah,
nigga gotta be the only motherfucker that brings a latte before the game. If you read him, like, if you see him post a picture and he's like, "Oh, latte on the way," and it's like, this nigga's in the NFL, and I'm supposed to be scared of this latte drinking ass nigga.
I'm in Starbucks before we hit the locker room.
But, nigga, we feel like one of the time we about to pull up to go to the game. We we following each other. We go to Starbucks, line long as fuck. I'm like, damn, I hope Will ain't really thinking he finna sit in this line because we need to get our ass to this goddamn facility.
We go to the facility before the game to kind of warm up, get in the tubs, get your body moving.
But when I said my dog was hurt, he was hurt that he didn't get that fucking latte.
Yeah, because we did turn around. I was like, this ain't it. This don't feel right.
This isn't even it, dude.
And it didn't though. Did we lose?
We might have. We probably did.
did.
I don't know though. We were good this year.
Yeah, we
kind of fucking blew it.
Good.
But
anyways,
but yeah, lattes.
What do you think about
That was my P game though. On the stat sheet, went down in history.
On the stat
Blue
sheet.
check mark came after that active game. The
Whoa.
blue check mark on social media.
Hold on,
Watch out.
that's green as
My
fuck.
mom, we're driving the Sonata home, moving my stuff back home. I'm in the car. My mom, yeah, mom, I got the blue check. Like, you ain't shit. You ain't got to check.
Hey, why they ain't get you one before that though?
I don't know. I guess practice squad. You just weren't good enough.
Nah, motherfuckers, the practice squad, the Titans got this shit on.
Well, now it's a new
It's a
age
new
now,
thing.
but back then,
Yeah.
Twitter. It's not like Twitter was what it is now.
Hello to the world.
Yeah, yeah. But
Over here at the Raw Room, we got 2 segments. First one, called the Oklahoma Drill. Obviously, you know what the Oklahoma Drill is. You take 2 different things, 2 people, 2 whatever the fuck you want. Head to head, go with each other. Who you think the best will win? I got the first one, Faye. First thing first. You got it? You feel what I'm saying?
I know. I feel you. I'm aware of the Oklahoma Drill. I want to take it for the buzz, but I know it's yours.
You can buy it from us. We got your Peaky Blinders haircut versus your tooth.
Wait, what do you mean my
Prefix
tooth?
tooth,
What
obviously.
the fuck does that mean?
Okay, do we need to talk about the
You
arch
know what I'm
in your
saying?
mouth
Fast
that you
Nasty?
had?
Like, what do you mean my tooth?
Oh, no, hey, don't call him Fat Nasty like he finna be on your team, nigga.
Well, he
The fuck?
What's the question though? Like, what's better?
No, just what the fuck? Just what did you prefer? Like, if I'm seeing your
haircut.
tooth, if I'm seeing your tooth and your haircut, I'm saying legendary wise, I'm gonna go with your tooth.
I love it referred to as my tooth.
What are you talking about?
It's
My chipped
bad.
tooth. Like I had chipped
He had
teeth.
my shit that one time.
I remember
he
you
had
had
I
that
had
shit.
small.
Amazing.
I had small
He
teeth.
had
They're
chiclets.
spaced
He got
out.
baby teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looked like
Yuck mouth.
it looks like a elementary
What you
room where
said
the chairs
about
are mixed
Missouri
around
is
everywhere.
number
You know
one.
what I'm
He said,
saying?
Missouri is number one meth heroin users or some shit. Hey,
The number 1 state for meth busts.
number 1 state for meth.
Who is that?
Oh.
The fuck just happened?
Oh, that's Faye. That's the
He's been
producer.
sitting on here the whole time.
Oh, he doing all, he running all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like you were talking about having shit, we've been doing that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We've been on
shit.
that shit, putting up the, you know what I'm saying, whatever we talking about so the people ain't gotta go do all the extra shit. So they ain't gotta go Google your tooth or your haircut. Boom, Faye put it up there in the Oklahoma Drill, and that's what, you know. So that's
I
who
get
Faye
the
is.
drill.
I'm saying, but I'm saying that's what you were like, who the fuck is that? That's what Faye is doing right now.
Okay,
That's what
I
I'm
got
saying.
you.
So, you know, he chimes in.
But what I'm trying to figure out is the criteria for deciding like what's trashier or like if I was stuck with one for the rest of my life, which one am I picking? Type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
See,
what am I
but that's
trying
what
to
I'm
pick? What's the
saying.
winner?
What are you deciphering? I get what
See
you're saying.
that, but see, I'm not even going that deep. You going too fucking deep.
I'm not trying to go deep at all. I'm just trying to figure out how I
See, you
decide.
fucking up my segment now. Now I'm finna get real violent. So yeah, we're gonna go there. With one of those things you have to live with for the rest of your life. You have to keep it permanent. That bitch don't get cut ever again. That bitch stay
The haircut.
permanent. You gonna stay with the haircut?
I'm staying with the haircut. I'm buying the haircut.
Because if you stay with a mouth like that, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean,
If you look back,
The
at
only
my
person who
before-
love you is your mama and your lady.
Yeah, exactly.
And your dad was sometime, I guess.
And you got to respect it because my lady was with me before the new
That's what I'm
team.
saying. That's what I would say. That's
You know
what I'm
what I
saying.
mean?
That's why I would
big.
say she gonna.
Half Filipino. We was there for your segment. You need to relax.
Hey, ling, ling, ding, ding.
Yeah. And her Filipino mom was. It was
They
with
were
us.
right
Cool.
there.
It was
I
like-
remember you came to
Yeah,
the
that
show.
shit
I
was
like,
hilarious, bro.
Look who I'm with.
Filipino.
Yeah, you were turned.
Go ahead.
Oh
But
shit!
I dug the haircut. I knew it looked ridiculous. Like when he got done, I laughed. I
The
said,
barber was disrespectful.
This is ridiculous. Well, the barber, to give him respect, he asked, like, I can blend it more. I can do this better. I laughed. I said, this looks absolutely ridiculous. I love it. We're keeping it. And so he, like, even the next time I went in, his boys were kind of firing him up. He's like, hey, can you let them stop just slandering me? Like, this isn't me. I was like, I told him that to have it that way. Like, it was, that cut wasn't premeditated to be like that. It was more supposed to be closer to the Peaky Blinders. But since we it was more of like a season one. It was the season one of Peaky Blinders. Yeah. And I knew, like, I figured more guys would know about Peaky Blinders when I walked in the facility the next day.
Yeah.
The heat I took was biblical. The jokes that were going on, it was hilarious.
Beyond.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm kind of weathering a storm right now. But mind you, Christmas was on Thursday or Friday or something like that, to where the barbershop wasn't open. Right?
Yeah.
And so I had to make it to Saturday, and I couldn't get a cut before we flew out. So I had to get it on Wednesday before Christmas and all that, all that stuff. I had to get it out of the way. And so I got the cut. I knew I was going to have to weather a storm around the fellas until I got them to see the whole vision with the Peaky Blinders fit, because I knew I had that coming. Nobody was really seeing it or believing me or nothing. Like, I had to battle a storm. People are really asking, like, do you really think this is cool? And it's like, look, I don't think like this is fucking like cool. Like, I'm starting some trend. It's like, here's what I'm going for. It's hilarious. Like,
like it.
I'm all about the fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going full character. And some dudes who came in and watched Peaky Blinders, they thought it was fire and like, see type of thing. But I had to weather a storm. When we was going out to practice today, he was talking about being on, one of the days I was on my phone all the way up to practice, dudes were like, hey, do you know you're on Bleacher Report, ESPN, Sports Center?
All this shit.
I was like, no. And I was like, oh, damn, this was making its waves, dude.
That shit was doing numbers.
But looking back, if it's a good cut or if I don't get that cut, there ain't no waves like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Because when I posted the picture, I put low skin fade. People are trashing me. I want to say T.I. put me on blast saying, that ain't no low skin fade. Obviously, like, I knew that, but you might not know that I knew that.
Yeah.
So people are coming into this world that don't like, oh man, your barber fucked you up, man.
Nah, the worst is when they put the injury report.
Yeah. When Ty put me on the injury report, that made it, sent it to new heights. Like, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Faye, what you got for us?
All right, this is for Will, some of his former coaches in the Oklahoma drill here. We got Bo Pelini and John Gruden.
As far as who I like more?
Yeah.
Here we go again. What am I choosing?
Bro, you gotta be the roommates. Out of all the niggas we done did this shit with, this motherfucker is the most difficult. Everybody else, they just get right to it. And Chris Randone, motherfucker ain't played football day in his life. He knew what the fuck was going on.
I'm a high maintenance guest. I'm not gonna lie.
We see you. We finna kick your ass out. Yes, motherfucker. Which one you like the most? We know.
Bo.
Okay,
I spent 5 years with Bo. Like, Bo is like, Bo is the foundation. Bo is the defensive mind I got to learn under and learn everything on. Bo was the it'd be Bo. Because I was only with it was John Gruden, right? Yeah, Gruden, I wasn't with him for a full year. Now, Gruden is like a bucket list coach. You kind of got to be like, damn.
I got to play for that.
I'm around, John Gruden type of thing. But ultimately, Bo. I can't,
What you got? What you got, Faye? Oh, yeah, we got another segment called Pay Cut Tag.
I've seen that one a lot.
Okay.
All right, we got some Nebraska greats here. London Fletcher, Ndamukong Suh, and Levante David.
London Fletcher didn't play in Nebraska.
No, well, you didn't mean to say Nebraska. You meant like just your favorite player, because I know all of them is in your circle of people you know what I'm saying, watch, because they were right there in front of you on your team and shit. I know London Fletcher, you played with great. You got to see him in the room. Suh, you talk about him a lot, how he was dominant, how he good dude, blah, blah, blah. And Levante, you just got
Pay cut tag.
Yeah.
That's tough. What's my man's name?
Feyzan.
Feyzan?
Yeah, he comes up with some bullshit ass pay cut tags all the time.
Feyzan, the issue with the question is my heart's attached to a couple of these guys.
He did that to me yesterday, and I was like, man, I can't. Come on, dog.
We know.
Like, I feel like I'm going to have to cut London, but not because of, the overall resume, but I got to be loyal to the fellas. You know what I mean? I got a little bit more in with the fellas.
Yeah.
Shout out London, though. I love London. I'm going to have to, hey, London, I'm going to need you to bring your iPad and your playbook. It's nothing you did
The Grim Reaper is on the way.
This is the problem when you have a good team. You got to make tough decisions.
Yo, Will, you hitting them with every
that's every
real
GM
every hard knock line.
You know, hey, we've appreciated everything you've done, but you know,
There's
we're going to go a
31
different direction. Yeah, there's 31 other teams out there that are going to love you.
And one of them's, trust me, one of them's going to be home for you.
Yes.
That's that
Matter of fact, I
bullshit.
just called another
That's
GM.
what fucking Bill O'Brien told me when I was asked to be released. Yeah, I know somebody's going to get you.
Yeah.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of my face. I'm going back to the hotel.
So I'm going to cut London. It's pay and tag.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tag Ndamukong because he's getting a little more ripe. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go off this past year. Are we going off overall body
We're just
work?
going overall.
I'm still going to tag Ndamukong because I have loyalty to my guy, Levante. I'm paying him. I'm keeping him on the squad.
Nice.
I'm building around him as a centerpiece of the
Nice.
defense. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going with that.
I'm building around my guy.
I'm going with that.
And I think he's the most versatile of all of it. You know what I mean? We can find somebody else to complement our 1 year franchise tag D tackle and Ndamukong.
Then
that's what I'm going with.
Aaron Donald.
Pay Levante, tag Sue. I got to part ways with London.
That's a tough one.
So funny.
That's a tough one. But goddamn it, we appreciate you coming on to the Raw Room.
How long has this pod been, man?
It's only been 2:15. It feel like we could do another hour if we didn't have to go get on stage.
This is like a Joe Rogan style pod, man.
Yeah, man.
We did, nigga, last night. We did
like
two
and a half. We were just telling stories.
Who's
you with?
God, just
me, him, and Alex. We just in this whole gone.
That's what happens when you got all the boys together.
Yeah, bro.
Man, it seemed like we ain't been here that long either.
Yeah, we could talk about so much more.
Oh,
shit.
before we get out of here, them fucking
Fast is about to fall asleep. Look at my man.
God, I expect you to be Irish. Every time he talks, I expect you to be
your voice throws me off,
Yeah,
man.
because I was expecting to be like, you got me sitting on the garden seat, yeah? And he's like, that's what I'm expecting.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, man, you know, what the fuck? That strong ass beard.
beard strong, voice weak as hell. All right, well, we got these two photos, man. We're gonna sign these bitches.
Oh, that's a great one.
And we can
love
find
that
these
one.
for
Bro,
some
DB and I got. We make sure to. This past year, we was like, you know, we got to get certain moments, bro, because you just never know how many. I feel like that's kind of the style we kind of live in a little bit more now that we're older, longer in the tooth.
Yeah,
like you just kind of think like you got to take advantage of these moments because you just never know when it's over.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like when you look back at earlier in our career, guys that you were close with and tied to, you know, when you part ways, you don't know that was actually the last time you were ever going to see them. Probably in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dog.
And so you just got to enjoy the moments when they happen.
Oh, man, the first time I got up at the Comedy Store, the lineup, but it was like the same night, Rogan, Ali Wong, D'Elia, Joey Diaz, Theo, and I just got to open that show. And I was like, man, you know what?
That's fire.
I got them all, and I still got it. It's in my mom. I gave it to my mom, so it's in her. But framed, I got that whole lineup, and I got them all to autograph it. And I told them like, "Hey, this is for me. Like, this. I know you don't know me or nothing." And they were like, "Oh no, like that's dope. That's like cool." And like they didn't even know me, but I was just like, "Man, when is this lineup ever gonna happen again? Like where I'm on it." You know what I'm saying?
Like ever.
And my name is right next to there, and they're like, I'm on this bitch.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But yeah, like you said, these moments, like, and because you just don't know, man. You just don't know.
But yeah, that's gonna be it for a lucky roommate, man. A roommate that is gonna have to, you gotta listen to this pod. There ain't gonna be no retweets and likes and, ooh, you get the chance to win. Nah, motherfucker, you gotta be to listen and figure some shit out. We're gonna throw some shit at you. Maybe some shit Deric said, maybe some shit Will said. We're gonna throw some shit at you. And hopefully y'all can win these pictures or be two winners. Something like that, we'll figure it out. But, man, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate y'all tuning in again. Tell somebody to tell somebody. Like this shit, share this shit, man. If you don't, you a hating ass nigga.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason you wouldn't. Is you're a hating ass nigga, dog, and
you a
that's
hating
it.
ass nigga, but
hey, that's funny as shit.
I just signed him to it, just ruin it.
You can resign on
Just Deric.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for listening. Hey, follow us. Follow us at the Raw Room, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me at Wesson_Son56 on Instagram. On Twitter, DB_5Trey.
Follow your boy JC, JCar_11, Twitter, Instagram, JCar_32. And the Raw Room is at raw__room.
Roomies, we appreciate y'all for listening. We'll tune in for you next week. Easy.